Oh,
What's up, boys?
There he is.
hey, just seeing
How's
if
it
you're
going?
present behind those eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Now
No,
you're here.
he's not a replicant yet.
I wish I was, dude. As many hours as I've worked, I could use a fucking clone.
And yeah, you've seen Chad, you might have seen this, or you guys probably might have all seen it, but the robot dogs, I don't know who has them.
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, that shit, that's just, it's like with the Christian takeover. It's like, I'm going to be playing music in my house and a fucking Christian robot dog's going to break in and eat my asshole. Like, man, don't do that. I have cancer.
And not in a good way.
Yeah.
You had me going for a minute there, and then I realized, oh no, wait, he doesn't mean that. Shit, I thought the future was getting brighter.
Yeah.
No, it was brighter a minute ago. It's over. Whatever was going on beforehand, it did suck, but it's like it definitely got, it's like Charlie Brown tried to kick the football, and we were like, okay, he's gonna do it, and now Lucy can't get abortions. She's got to go to Pigpen in some dirty alley and have him get his fucking soiled fingers up in her snatch.
So who's the dad? Is it Linus or Schroeder?
Franklin.
Well, Franklin is that the black one? Is he the black one?
Franklin is the dark friend.
Yeah, he's laying the wood to everybody.
That must have been the inspiration for Token, huh?
Lucy, can I help you bust up that Schifferow?
I don't remember too many storylines that involve Franklin.
I don't think there were any. I think we're treading on a premise that Chris Rock explored.
Uh-oh.
I think he was definitely the Token, I think you're right. I think that was
okay, yeah.
He didn't do anything.
Well, that was the era of the Coke commercial. Like, buy the world of Coke. They started including, all these different ethnicities, even though there was, no civil rights.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching a good one on the civil rights and the era and all that. It's my recommendation. Early is the Celtics and the Lakers.
Why are you doing it now? We have a forum.
Maybe I have another one. Maybe I have another. Okay.
We know you don't. You barely have this one.
These instructions weren't even
twice.
These instructions weren't even written down, and he already knew them, and he still can't follow them.
Follow the civil rights through basketball. Celtics and Lakers clash. Fuck it. It's hosted by Ice-T. He does it, and Donnie Wahlberg.
Ice-T and Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not watching that.
Well, you only see Donnie Wahlberg once, maybe.
Not even Mark Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg.
No, Donnie. He speaks for Boston, and then Ice Cube speaks for LA. Ice Cube has more to work with. Because Donnie can't be like, and then we were like, we don't want these chuck-boos out on the court. You forget how recent some of that shit is, and then you're like, they smeared shit on Bill Russell's walls, and then they were like rooting. They were like, let's go, probably, let's get it done, brother. That was a while back, but then
I would say that Bill Russell predates the Celtics Lakers thing, though.
Yeah, but then it goes into it. It's like a 3-parter, and but it's like they got a lot. They have.
I hope you have another recommendation.
Hey,
I'm not watching.
Here's
host anything.
This is the first time since Andy's cancer that I've actually felt bad for him. Oh man, Andy's watching this shit. He needs to get out and fucking nature jack and stuff, man. This is sad.
Yeah. That's the first bad news.
Hey, let me tell you what, if you're gonna jack off to Larry Bird, you want to hit the 70s and nothing after that.
He doesn't. Shorts?
Well, I mean, he just doesn't age well. Like, they show him currently. It's like, oh my God, Larry. Anyway, Larry Legend, he's legend on the court, not because of his face, but because of his play.
Wasn't an attractive man, but he was
I think he was wearing that mustache. He was trying to cover up his face, but it worked for a minute in the 70s.
He looks like Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If Indiana had a face, it would be that with Mitch McConnell's body.
Wait.
Oh wait,
Mitch
no,
McConnell
that's
is
all right.
Kentucky.
Yeah, but Indiana's on top of Kentucky, so that kind of actually makes sense. It's like
Mitch McConnell. Who's the Indiana?
Indiana's the head and Kentucky's the body. See, it's
Oh, it's okay. Well, I would have had to say Mike Pence, but Pence has got a pretty solid body. Right, fellas?
If there's one thing we all agree on politically, it's that.
Yeah.
Well, we're what, 4 minutes in and we've already gotten gay.
Yeah, gay and political, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
When they said hung Mike Pence, I was like, I'll bet, man.
Yeah, he's got kind of like uncle to Anderson Cooper kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, you can
Kinda
tell by
smooth.
you can tell by the way he squints that he's been in a glory hole
Mm.
and an uncomfortable situation. I mean, I would think that some glory hole experiences are better than others.
Mhm.
I would think that he probably controlled it eventually, but
seems like
the early days.
He seems like the kind of guy who goes to the gym and then is naked in the locker room for longer than
Right.
he should be.
Yeah, like a movie like about his childhood, like a Stand By Me. There'd be more going on with that corpse. Where's the corpse? I don't know. Mike dragged it off.
Shit.
Oh, but I
So,
did take it. I did
Cheers.
take
Hey,
your.
fellas.
It's not just watching Celtics and
Welcome to Issues with Andy, everybody.
it's not just watching the Celtics and Lakers and reliving a racist time in our past and reminiscing about the good old days or whatever. I took so my friend Mac, who he was an alcoholic but besides that, he never learned to drive. So he's 42 and he's got a car that he's had for a while, but he's never driven it. And then he just got his license. And then he asked if I wanted to go to the coast. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And it was, I didn't anticipate it being as terrifying as it was. And it there was a close call at the end that could have been it. But
wouldn't that be fucked if you got in a car accident and died after you had your stomach cut open and a bunch of cancer cut out of it?
But I wouldn't have to go through 4 more treatments.
Yeah, but you've already done 8.
Yeah.
I know, but I quit, I quit football season like 3/4 of the way through.
Andy, what's your friend's name?
Mac.
He doesn't have a funny moniker of some sort?
Mac Chase. I called him Mac-Aholic back in the day, but it seems
pretty good.
Sad now that he doesn't drink as so he, but he's getting like he didn't know how to get gas in his car. He didn't know where the thing was to undo that. He's that new to the car in his own cockpit. He's owned it for a bit, but other people have driven it, and he doesn't know how to do shit. Yeah, like I think if you learn at 16, you must have a different like muscle capacity, because when you learn at 42, you're a fucking idiot. He's like, he doesn't know how to corner and shit. And
no, when you learn at 16, you then have 35 years to grow into it.
Yeah.
When you learn at 45, everything's new.
You're as shitty as you were at 16.
Yeah. Check with him when he's 70. He might be all right at this.
He went around. I said, "Hey man," because we've had this discussion a few times. It's like those things mean to slow down. And on the coast, some of them are pretty dramatic with cliffs on either side. But I'm kind of, I look at, it's like I spot an opportunity to exit, and I did see the beauty of, me taking a new driver over on his mom called, his mom called, and she's like, "I'm so proud of you." I heard the word proud back and forth, like I was at a Proud Boy rally, but she was proud. He goes, "Mom, I'm driving to the coast." And she's like, "Oh, I'm proud of you." And she kept saying that. And then she called back to say she was proud and then put money in an account. So me and Matt could have a romantic lunch where her and her husband that she married, and then he died. That was their favorite place. So me and Mac had lunch there, and then he jumps up we're parked, and then he jumps up on the curb, almost takes his side mirror off He's up in grass. Like he went from like, I think he just back up here, right? But he jumps the curb and then almost takes his mirror off. Kind of just, he doesn't really react. It's not, I wouldn't say panic is the word. It's like not really reacting. And then his wheel got stuck on grass. I go,
This guy passed his driver's exam.
He did it like, I think he did it in a different situation. He had like a
different
teacher.
country.
He didn't get tested by a DMV person. He got tested by somebody who didn't take him on a real road. We went up, I took him out
the
on
mini
the free
golf place.
Yeah, like
He
that.
played pole position.
Yeah, it did have Malibu racetrack on the license photo. But so that was the, you know, there was other things like he didn't understand. So then we're going on these curves, and there's arrows, curves. Like up the road, we're going up the road on the Oregon coast. There's like some big sweep around curves and shit, and they all have arrows because it's like, you know, the weather or whatever. But they're big warnings, you know. And he didn't have the concept of what those meant. He didn't when I go, there's a beach up here you could turn off into, and he didn't get the concept of a quarter mile from a sign to the turn off. He goes, man, they don't give you any warning. I go, yeah, they do. It's a quarter mile. But so he goes around one and he's not really paying attention, and it's the biggest fucking corner on the Oregon coast, like, and he's not slowing down. He's accelerating into starts a big sweep around and then or goes back around and shit, and I god damn it, you know, and I can't take over, break his heart. And then we're coming back. I stopped and I had to get stoned. I was like, you know, walk away from the vehicle and get stoned, because I just like, you know, it just makes you nervous when you're in a car with somebody who's terrifying and doesn't have the concept of it. And so we're driving, and
Brett's aware of that.
Yeah.
we're heading up a 2-lane, going pretty fast. I mean, like he's going 45 or whatever, but I see a car coming around and he's making the bold pass, you know, and somebody's like, fuck it, I think I can make all these cars, like Evel Knievel. And so this red sports car is in our lane headed directly towards us, and I sat on it. I don't think it was that I wanted to die. I think I felt like if I would have said something and he reacted, I would have died that way. So I just didn't say anything. And then, and he just kind of lightly tapped his brake, and then that guy veered in, and then Mac said, yeah, if I hadn't hit my brakes, that guy would have hit us. I know that if I would have said anything, he would have fucking killed us. So I just had to stare at that. And
you made the right call. If you'd have said anything, he'd have swerved off the road and over the edge into the ocean.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun, and I got to go to the beach.
Fun.
Yeah, the hanging at the beach was all right. I saw a spot where I would like send Mac on his way up the beach and go nature jack, and then there's something on a table over in that area, and then I started to walk over there, and then a lady comes walking, and she takes that whole area over, and she's an artist. I guess. I mean, she sets up a fucking thing, and I can, you know,
an easel.
Some of us want to enjoy this.
So she's like legit painting the
like that
landscape.
Yeah, like that shit. Like, you know, sometimes people are just so inconsiderate.
And he's insulted that someone else
you should have laid on
there to nature jack, Andy, and she put up that easel to seem annoying too.
I think she was there to draw the elusive nature jacker.
That's what I was just gonna say. Maybe she was there to chronicle the event. You could just lay back with like some grapes.
Your underpants on.
The waves crashing behind you.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I could see a painting like that above my fireplace.
I'm trying to make the chemo port sexy.
Bringing sexy back.
Yeah, and she said, I mean, she was legitimate. I didn't go look at her thing, but it was like, you know, I mean, that's the problem. I drove over there with somebody. I can't say, you know, there's another spot I want to go to. This other beach. A couple of times I've been there. Pretty sweet. I think there's a little out place for you too over there. You know, he's just learning to drive at 42. I don't want to tell him about nature jacking.
No.
Because then it gets
Yeah,
too
it blows mine.
well, you jerk off over the coast, you smoke a little herb or whatever, and then you're a lethal weapon. But I mean, because he can't drive. I mean, he he drives in a way that you can't. I'm not saying you can't jack off and get high and drive. I'm saying without
He shouldn't.
experience, it's
Yeah.
fatal.
A high level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kids try it on a closed stunt course first.
Mhm. You don't want to introduce too many variables to the
Yeah,
new
like a well shaded BMX track area.
So Mac, huh?
Yeah, Max the one who had.
How have you know how do we not know who this is? How do
How
you
else you give him the crossbow?
He's
I
the-
thought.
Yeah, he's the crossbow guy, and
Oh, okay.
well, when James came to town, I had to choose a friend, and I chose him because he'd been violated by one of the DMB, and I just thought, well, let's give this a try. Now Jimmy's out of town, and I had to find Mac again. But Mac
Well,
also
I thought
went.
you meant I thought you
but
meant Inman
Mac was
when you
also-
said James.
Yeah.
I didn't see Mac for a while because he went to rehab, and then you got to give a fall down drunk a time to recover.
Mhm.
So I hadn't.
Was
seen
he
him in a
working the
bit.
steps and everything and doing all that?
No,
stuff?
he's not into that.
Good.
He's not a drunk anymore. But he says he still has a sip or two.
Uh-huh. Good.
And but he's
How it
he
starts.
didn't he didn't get all shaky and weird when I had a beer. So
Uh-huh.
I tested him, and then
Good for you.
but he says he doesn't drink beer. He never drank beer. So I
Well,
fucked
then
up.
that's not much of a test.
I know I should have had a glass of wine and put it under him. But I wanted to.
While he's driving,
Yeah.
Yeah.
reach over and put it under
Is
his
doing anything for you?
Yeah, when his mom, well, I brought a cooler and I said I got road pops and but it was for tuna. I was gonna get tuna over the coast, and they didn't.
What?
Tuna fish.
He's gonna fill his cooler
man.
with tuna, but instead he filled it with beer.
No, I told Mac when I got in the car, I got road pops. 'Cause he's new driver. It's like you got to get a buzz on, right?
So
What is-
wait, so this guy's mom called him while he was driving?
Yeah.
And he answered
and
the phone and
he
talked?
answered it. It's a new car.
So he's talking.
But through it's like all
It doesn't
Bluetooth.
matter.
I know. Yeah, you should have seen him when he was
For-
trying.
I'm proud of
An
him.
old new driver? Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot of technology going on.
He's a lot of horn honks away from being proficient, and not his horn neither. Like people will be honking at him. I told him like anecdotes about driving with
About
my
your
mother.
driving ability.
Well, I go, you need to be like my mom. She was a horrible driver, but she was in a zone. And that zone, when people would drive by and flip us off, she didn't even look over there anymore. She got it all the time. And then a lot of times, because she would block up a fast lane, I would get it. That'd be like a
Oh,
nappy.
you were on
Yeah.
you were in
Yeah,
lane one in
Like
the middle.
somebody going by and fuck you yelling and shit, and I just waking up
Well,
from a nap.
there was
think,
her hack. That's how
Yeah.
you don't get flipped off. You stay in the number one lane and go 35
yeah,
because everyone's passing the passenger side.
yeah. I may give Mac my mom's wig. Say drive with this for a while. That way nobody will kick your ass. They'll just go, it's a fucking old lady.
Well, aren't you telling him the real thing? Like, hey, if you're going to continue to go at this low speed, I would suggest staying over to the right.
I coached him about just stay behind the slowest vehicle, and because you know
That's
you can't be in a hurry if he's not ready for passing. When a bus
The
pulls,
Oregon
Come on,
coast
these
is
are the
not
when
the
a,
place to practice.
there was a bus that had hazard lights on, and the bus pulls off into a pull-out lane, and then he slows down. Like, so all these other vehicles are like, okay, these two fucks are out of the way, and we're gonna blast them all. And he stays in the lane and slow, like he looks like he's getting over, and then he just slows down. He's like, what's this? It's like, yeah, it's it's like, okay, if you had a girlfriend or something that didn't know a thing about football, and then you take her to a game and you got to answer all them questions. I didn't want to explain to him about pull-out lanes and how he should be a part of it and all that. You should get into the culture.
You mean like an extra lane on the right? On
Yeah,
a hill?
yeah. Like, yeah. And he made a comment about the how fucked up the passing lanes were because they're all on hills. I go, that's so these slow motherfuckers get over. It's like I'm teaching him how. I mean, I'm a lot of lessons away.
You say like he wasn't. You didn't want to have to explain and answer all these questions, but it's really not that difficult. You say, well,
you're sitting in the car with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to pass. It's hard to pass on the curves. So when you get a hill, then
but I mean, I didn't want to
move
be
over to the right, and everyone can go around you safely.
The key to
done.
teach
7 seconds. That took.
you know how I taught my daughter to drive is she'd go from Eugene to Portland to go up an ice skate, and I would wake up, get in the car, and go to sleep. And she would then wake up at the ice rink up in Vancouver, Washington. And
Father of the year.
Yeah.
Right there, man.
Yeah. If we make it, we make it, we'll deal with the insurance company or the hospitals later. And so she's a way better driver. She had instincts.
Yeah, I guess.
So I got a new way around town.
Great. Sounds fun. Sounds like you'll have a story every week now. Maybe we get Mac on.
Yeah, I'm glad
Can
we
you
went the way we
get
did.
your camera out while he's driving and do a film?
No, I mean, that would be like, if there were any other, he gets distracted enough with his own thoughts and other shit.
Well, just do it when you're in like town in the neighborhoods where it's not going to be like dangerous. Just
You don't have to have an interview.
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
no, I didn't know how green he was, and I took him
It's
right
not
out
60 minutes. You're not trying to give him gotcha questions.
Kind of my.
Hey, look at me when I'm
Seinfeld.
talking to you, Mac-Aholic.
You know that scene in
Where were you on January 6th?
this will out us as Curbs or whatever, but on the movie Clueless, anybody? No. There's a scene where she takes a car. They go out. A new driver goes out on the freeway, and I didn't really think about how inexperienced. I just assume people can merge. So we go, instead of going the back way and going to the coast that way, I suggest let's go up the freeway and catch up to the coast, higher up the coastline. And so he didn't know how to merge, and there were fucking semi trucks and 3 lanes and shit. And I go, just keep a steady speed. It's
so
like,
you didn't help the guy. You didn't give him advice. But what you did do,
who gave him a
into
license?
The lion's den. You said,
yeah, and then
took him right off his plan to take the lazy back roads.
Right.
The scenic back roads where he could drive and look at. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm so glad I learned to drive. And now he's in 6 lanes of traffic with truckers honking at him and people flipping him off.
I always avoid the tourist. And, the temperature is 100 degrees in Eugene, you can count on a caravan of fucking indifferent and some aggressive, some old people in some motorhomes, all that shit heading over to the coast all at once. So I thought we go up the coast to avoid that. I didn't realize he's never really put it on the. Hey, how do you give a guy a license when you? Yeah. So, and it wasn't cute like that neither. Mac's a 42-year-old man. He's in recovery. I could take that. I could be a lot more patient.
We could all take that.
Yeah. Assuming she was of legal age, not to dip into.
Although it does look like in that picture, like she's got a little bit of like the Bell's palsy or something, like maybe that's not just oops, I backed over the curb. Maybe that's my face is like this.
Well, that's
the only way we could get a date with her.
Yeah. I don't want to go too much into the Alicia Silverstone. That's like one of those where like, oh man, she's hot. And then it's like, I think she's only like 18. It's like, ease up, old fella. I should be looking at Meryl Streep.
Yeah, but
older.
They're usually older.
Yeah, does it count if she's 40 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Gwyneth Paltrow porn now. Right? She's about 40, 50.
Michael Costa used to have a great bit about how it's okay to look at a girl's Instagram of her when she's under 18 if you start when she's over 18.
Yeah,
But
just,
that's
go the
like,
other
it's like a
way.
grandfather clause, so to speak. If you start when you're over, then it's okay. You're allowed to go all the way back, as far back as you want. and
that's what
everything's
Hugh Hefner
funny.
did.
fine.
They'd get pictures of them when they're 17 and sit on them until they turned 18. Same technology, only Hugh made more off of it.
Fuck.
But how about that Lakers Celtics show, huh?
Jesus Christ. Well, you don't have to watch a show about America struggling with civil rights, because you can just look out the window.
I know.
That's called the news.
I took my mind off the news. I didn't want to watch any abortion stuff, so I watched stuff on blatant racism in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They're writing articles about, can the blacks play? Is it too many blacks hurting the teams and stuff?
Well, Boston was always the most notoriously racist city when it comes to sports teams. Like I think the Red Sox were the last team to integrate their roster.
Really?
And I think so. And the Celtics also the same way. They were like, it's all those fucking, Donnie Wahlberg type Southie fucking.
No, let's not disparage the great Wahlberg name.
Hey, they make a pretty middle class fucking burger as a family.
What about like the Marge Schottenheimer or whatever her name was?
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah,
those were the
Nazi
assholes.
too, but-
We don't know that the Wahlbergs had anything.
Well,
to do with this.
he just represents South.
I forgot about
Boston,
her.
Southie.
Marky
fucking-
Mark was the one with all the racist charges and stuff that actually happened, I think, wasn't he?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
know that.
Just
Actually, I
recently
didn't even know that.
apologized.
I already didn't
think,
like
for
him,
it.
so I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
he's racist.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I just don't like. Mark Wahlberg, I just don't like.
Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg, I just don't think about.
I forget about that. I refuse to call him anything but Marky Mark. That's my.
Don't get your blue blood
disrespect.
boiling there.
Yeah.
Blood.
That show's got two superstars, Wahlberg and Selleck.
Yeah, that's where he fucking, hawks his fucking reverse mortgage.
Yeah,
I
that
would
shit-
sell it
that-
to you if.
what a douchebag
Mm-hmm.
fucking guy. But he makes great avocados. Remember we talked about how he was siphoning off more water than.
Oh yeah, that's right. During the drought.
Yeah.
I have to text Carrie Mitchell for a wine key.
Wait, what?
I have a bottle of wine, but I forgot to bring a wine key.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't really like. I've never really liked cops, and I think it comes from my old man had an attitude against them too.
Well, it's also the way cops are.
Right, and then my dealings with them have never really altered my thing, but I tend to not anymore. I used to watch them and no problem, but now I'm so sick of cops. I don't even
Oh, you
watch
mean like
cop related shit.
cop shows?
Yeah, like I think watching cops all those years just ruined it or whatever. But I don't root. It's like you want to root for somebody, and if you're watching a cop show, you're rooting for the criminal.
Could it possibly be that we've been inundated with fucking cop shows since Barney Miller and
Right.
fucking
And
Beretta?
Street Blues.
Yeah.
Let's bring back Barney Miller. That was a good show, and I know most of the cast is probably not with us. None of them, or any of them with us. I think they're all dead.
Barney Miller? I
Abe
think Howard
Vigoda.
Landon's still alive, isn't he?
No.
And Wojciechowski.
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 Wojciechowski, yeah.
Wojciechowski.
He was in DC
I think
Cab.
that's Max Gale.
Max Gale, that's right.
I
Wow.
think Max Gale's still alive because, and Chaille will know this, but I watched Max Gale in his most recent acting turn, and that was as Sonny Corinthos, aging, dementia-ridden father on General
Really?
Hospital.
No kidding.
And
Wow.
he had a good couple of year run on there on GH. So Carrie Mitchell watches that show every day. So Max Gale's still around.
Yeah, I didn't
I
realize.
think Ron Glass is dead. Steve Landisberg.
Yeah,
is
he died.
dead. What about the
Abe
little
Vigoda.
Abe
Fish?
Vigoda's gone. The Japanese
believe-
guy's long
Yaksu?
gone. Yeah. And
Barney
what about
Miller's
the little what
wife.
about the little dude who wore
Yeah.
the uniform?
Ron Carey.
Ron Carey.
That was my dad's favorite.
The best
That's
part
what-
about this was what made Barney Miller so great. And this, when you think about it, it's surprising that this show even got made, because the pitch would be, it's a cop show, but they never go out and be cops. And we're never going to show them do anything. It's always going to be just them fucking around in the office after they come back from having done cop shit. Like, wait, what? That seems like the opposite of what a cop show should be.
There's the wine key.
Oh, thank you, my
Hey,
dear.
Ash-
Say hello to
Are
Carrie
you-
Mitchell, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Are you the wine key master?
Yes, tonight I am. Yes. Good to
Look
see
at
you.
that. Oh, I didn't know that's what that thing was called.
Well, this is a
That one's from 1982.
this is a
It like it.
It's
Easy
a
one.
bottle
Oh, yeah.
opener, but I think it's a takeoff on a church key, which was the old pop top to open a can of beer that didn't have a pull tab.
yes.
This one's the rotary.
Yeah.
It's easy.
of-
The one Carrie Mitchell uses is a lot more difficult, but she's a pro.
that's
You could
me,
put it. You could
so.
put someone's eye out with that thing. So be careful.
Whoops.
Hey, gotta go.
All right, and stay out.
See ya.
How hot is it in Texas? Is it? Are you guys-
Today it's nice because if you haven't, I don't know if you've been able to hear it, but we're in a thunderstorm right now, and it got below 90
Oh.
degrees before 8 p.m. for the first time in a fucking month.
We all
And
forgot
that's
the.
been glorious.
We all forgot the Asian guy.
Jack
Um,
Sue.
No, Jack Sue.
Oh,
he's
okay,
good.
Jack
that.
Sue.
The guy to my over here, this
I don't
guy,
The old
recognize
guy.
him.
James Gregory, he's been in a bajillion things. He was great. He was the inspector that had come down and shoot the shit with Barney.
Oh, okay.
But he
Yeah,
was
he'd
also
he'd come in and talk to fucking Barney,
yeah.
hang out.
But
Just hanging out.
he was a one of the really dark apes in Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was really
re-
good.
Now that you say it, I recognize that. I know his work from the apes.
No,
shit.
you're looking at the wrong side of the picture, Andy.
No, I said my right.
And we're done.
Oh boy. Not
Good
Ron.
run, guys. Good run.
He
That
he
was a
said
terrible joke. I'm sorry, everyone. It's the wine. Like
He
Rose,
just
I'm on
got-
Ambien.
Oh yeah. Is that so you can get through a shift or so you can sleep? I like that. I like my experience with Ambien, but it does. I was aware of that thing being too good for me.
I've never taken Ambien.
You're on.
Xanax, I can put it. Like I had a mule that sent me some, and I was kind of using it and thinking I needed it for part of my treatment, and then my mule forgets things and makes promises
Yeah.
and doesn't keep them, and anyway, I have not gotten
Problem
any
with
more.
mules.
Yeah, but this mule is so slow. I got over the need to having them.
She cured you.
Yeah,
And when I say,
The
I
true
mean
friend.
the royal she. I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
assuming a gender.
my mule walks slow, open-toed shoes.
Yeah. We went through something like that here in Texas.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm thinking about looking around for new
The
that's hard
new
to say.
mule.
New mule.
New.
Fuck, man.
New mules.
Yeah. Run that past a hair lip. Say new mule 5 times. Not mule. Not mule. I didn't say mule.
Mhm.
No.
Hey Chaille, that video that Andy was talking about, the reason why I saw it is because Andy fucking retweeted it. So it's on Andy's Twitter
What's he
from
talking about? What?
yesterday.
It's
I'll
just
look it up.
a
I'm gonna look it up.
it's like a Benny Hill skit,
It's
but it was
Just before you came on, we
Oh,
were
okay.
talking about a video. So I just realized right now, it's like, where the fuck did I see that? I was gonna try to send it to Chaille, but if that helps to pull it up, yeah, that was.
it's yeah. I mean, it's one of those where I wanted to, find a scroll that had information on it, but then it was like, nah. I mean, I'm sure that whatever the explanation was, it couldn't match the fun of the video.
It was just drugs. I had to
yeah.
be just drugs. Is the only thing
Yeah.
that's the conclusion I came to. But I watched it a few times.
If I were his,
before I came to that conclusion.
if I was
Now I'm
lawyer,
intrigued.
if I was his lawyer, I'd use the it was cold outside, and he was in a panic over the accident, and the fact that he was cold and got out, and it's, you know, it's like when
Did some guy whip his dick out and
well, I guess his dick was,
size?
he didn't whip his dick out, it was out.
Oh.
He was just out naked and crashed his car, got out and ran, and then run, you know, and then it's like a whole series of him trying to.
It would be
make
funny if you got in trouble for if you're driving naked, you crash your car and then you take off and you get in trouble for it, and the only thing you care about in court is getting it into the record that it was a cold night. And I would just like the record to show that it was a very cold
Well,
night.
I'm sure his lawyer had a difficult toxicology report to work with.
Your Honor,
You don't even
let
give
the
a
record
fuck if
show my client is very hairy.
Yeah.
What? Why? It's trying to show reason why he was naked. I'm just trying to see if it's warm.
What I would like to know too is just what music was he listening? If he had music on, what was he listening to before the crash? Sure, it all was different in the car. He's high as shit. Sure, his clothes are nowhere to be seen or whatever, but
Was he
things
on
are going
meth?
pretty good.
He's probably on
Yeah.
meth, right?
I always
If
give real fat people the benefit of
Is
the
it,
doubt when it
Andy,
comes
is
to
it the
meth.
unfortunate series of events?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always wrong about that, but I always assume fat people aren't on meth, but it's like, no,
Right.
they just haven't
I
been
didn't
on
know
it
he's
that
fat.
long. Or
I
they
just
were
thought,
just
like,
that too, Andy.
naked and sweaty, like, you know, you're on meth, you just kind of want to rip your clothes off and go crazy. Maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I've never really.
But yeah, I don't know if it's not really related, but there's a guy I know that has sold cocaine in the past. Anyway, when every time I see him, he's sweaty and he maintains his weight. So like, well, I feel good he's not cutting it with, you know, but he's not snorting the shit he sells probably, but he's always sweaty. So it's like, you know, I feel pretty good buying his product.
Here, I have that video if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanna
that's
watch
why.
it.
Yeah. Okay, that's the music you were expecting, Chad?
No, I thought it'd be yakety sax.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Maybe starting right here.
yeah, he didn't even put his card. So then he comes
How
back.
do you-
He comes
Oh,
from
he
a
left
different.
his towel.
Then he came back and oh man.
Oh,
This is my
where I
favorite.
live. Yep, there we go.
You can tell those are
That
firemen.
was fun.
You can tell that's a fireman, not a cop, because he didn't knee him in the back.
Well,
Like
because
the
the
firemen are
firemen
just-
and didn't just wait to.
Yeah. Firemen wrestle. I mean, when they have to get into that, they wrestle for position, and then, but cops are like UFC. They got him in there, elbow strikes to the head and shit. But yeah, I don't know what the story is on that guy, but I'm sure.
Seems like there was a lot. There needs to be a lot more of an explanation because first he crashed and then he took off, and that really once you take off like that, you got to commit to that. You got
I
to
bet
commit
he
to it.
crashed again off camera, is what I was thinking.
But I mean, he already was out of the vehicle and he ran off camera, and then he ran back, and then he came back.
What's yeah, I
And then
can't
he ran back full sprint from the other direction.
To the paramedics who wouldn't let him in. They locked him out.
It
Well, that-
reminded me of
right.
the end of the Burbs whenever Tom Hanks runs and gets into the ambulance himself.
that was a solid move though. It's like shit's going pretty bad. I'll get in there with all them
Get me out of
drugs
here.
and
Yeah.
a bed. It's like if he could just like shut the door and party, you know. But yeah, that the way he goes down in the snow is that I was really happy with watching it. And then when they threw him down, I'm like, oh yeah, this is that's the kind of thing that makes my day sometimes.
And-
Like you start off in a good way and it carries throughout the day.
Yeah, that's fun. Hopefully that wasn't that guy's house. That wasn't his house.
I don't think
right?
it was.
I don't think it was.
Because
Yeah.
there's no reason for the fireman to take you down like that in the snow.
I think
if
that
that's your
guy.
house. If that's someone else's house,
My guess
then,
is the guy
yeah,
who
you can't
followed
be
him
running
up there.
naked.
I think the
know.
guy who followed him up there was that neighbor who probably picks up the mail over there. And he's like, "Hey, where are you going, big fella?" or whatever. And then the firemen are away.
Hold
You don't
on
live
there,
here?
partner.
You mean
There's
you don't
nothing
live
for you up
here?
there.
And then the firemen that got
Easy,
rejected from
Hoss.
police school throw him down to the fucking. Well, I remember a few old tricks from
Uh-huh.
from my police
Yeah, from
academy
the
days.
First couple of days of academy training.
But yeah, it seems like it would be, that would be a cool if you. I mean, it's never cool to be in traffic court, but that would be an interesting one to hear the case on. I'd kind of like, that'd be a cool guy to know maybe.
I think so too. I think I'd like to know more about this guy. I think
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I'd like to see the prequel.
What do you think of your brother Bert Kreischer's act?
Yeah, this guy might have priors. That might have been why he
Yeah.
got the knee to the back from the
Sure.
cops. Or the
Yeah, well, the one when I'm sure I told this where I got taken down by the cops, but I in St. Louis
Yeah.
or St. Louis area.
Yeah,
but
you
when I
took
went
off running
running,
out of the
when I
swimming
went
pool.
running with this other guy, he was running because of warrants, and I think I was running just for the sport of it. But we both equally had, some splaining to do. That's for sure. But yeah, he goes, I go, I had all them. That's what I had all them support the troops magnets. I had about
Yeah, you
15
thought
magnets.
the cops. You were swimming.
Well, I didn't want
you were
them to.
swimming after hours in a hotel pool, making a lot of noise and causing a ruckus. And when the cops showed up, you thought they were after you because you stole some support. to
Well, I'd
troops
been
magnets
active
off the
when
car.
I got ran out of the hotel, and then there was several cars with the magnets, so I gathered a fresh batch. I didn't think I was running from the police at that time. I thought I was just being disrespectful to the guy in charge of continental breakfast in a few hours. So it escalated. That's what happens when you run amok with the law. And I'm just glad I was running from a fucking fat white man, fattish white man, and instead of some cop robo dog.
Yeah, no chance there.
But that would have been lighter once the police officer has to put
There's
that
an
different than the
episode of
Christian-
There's an episode of Black Mirror where it's those robot dog things chasing somebody through the woods, and it's fucking intense.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, man, remember RoboCop? That's like that never happened or whatever. It's like, now I think I'll be alive for it.
Not if you drive with Mac again.
Yeah, not if you keep driving with Mac-Aholics.
And then one,
Mac
yeah,
attack.
yeah. Then one of the everybody's favorite shows will be, cop dog, robo dogs, and it'll just be the reaction video of people going, "Oh shit!" and then the dog shooting them. Don't ever run from the cops.
Not from a cop dog.
I was programmed for law enforcement. My dad
Bark,
was
bark.
programmed. Yeah,
Bark, bark.
It's the new Knight Rider. It's just Knight
Yeah.
Rider and a dog riding around. There's not even people in it.
Well, that's the
I'd
thing
watch that.
That does
I
sound
told
good.
you guys about the man baby, who's a little retarded fella who had cop fantasies. And one of the things he said when he was riffing, I think he was riffing, but he goes, and he's chasing the suspect, and then he threw a dog on him.
Yeah.
Now I know what he mean. Man, he was speaking. He's
ahead
seeing
of his
shit way
time.
ahead of me. Yeah, that's why he's not even retarded. He's 30 years ahead of everything.
No, he's still retarded.
You're
Yeah.
out of control, would you, Hoyts?
Yeah, but he said
He
he's
just
to throw a
He
dog.
just threw a
but-
dog at that suspect.
Yeah, give me your badge, man. You'll have to take it off my dead body. He was a scrappy little cop.
What if all retarded people are time travelers and that's just the side effect of what happens? And nobody in the future knows it.
Yeah.
They just keep sending people back.
Oh, that's nice. What do you want, a coloring book? No, the future, the future.
Go back to my time.
Slow down, man. You've been time traveling.
This must be the effect of a space
Takes a
space
long
jump.
time for that to wear off. If they lived longer, you'd find out that it would wear off after like 50 years.
Yeah,
They'd be like, I am from 2350.
What year did they take the Christians up? That's what I want to know. I want to stick around for that time.
Oh man.
And just to beat the shit out of anybody left. Hey man, thought you
It's
were
getting
Christian.
worse. I don't know if you
I
saw
know.
the shit that just happened today.
Yeah,
will be out in a week, but
The prayer.
yeah, what the fuck, man. I
It's,
just hope I hope that I hope that at schools, I mean, I know it'll mostly be terrible, and I think it's complete and utter bullshit that when I was in high school in my little small town in Illinois, our football team was like a big deal, as much as it could be in a town of, you know,
It's Friday
barely
Night
o-
Lights, man.
barely over
it was what you
1,000
did.
people, but yeah, it was a big deal. And the coach, we prayed in the locker room, and I thought it was fucking stupid. No one said anything.
oh yeah, I guess we did.
But
Occasionally.
this guy's praying on the 50-yard line at the end of the football game with all the players, and it's just so fucking stupid.
Mhm.
And to think that that's something that is okay is crazy to me. And I want there to be the response that'll get it shut down. I want either a kid who prays to Satan during that prayer, or a really brave Muslim kid who prays to Allah at the same time and just brings this whole thing down.
or a really witty heckler.
That would be fantastic too.
That would be.
I think the witty heckler and the kid praying to Satan are probably the same kid.
I was thinking like a reservation football team where they just come out and do like fucking 15 hours worth of dancing and drumming and shit. And they have their own. There was a thing that played community radio that played Indian chanting, and I wouldn't say I was an avid listener or a big fan, but I would try to make it deep into like, 3 or 4 chants or songs or whatever before turning it off. But yeah, that would, and it would be like, that would intimidate an opponent too. They could do dance right in front of them.
There's a clip of this fucking asshole and these assholes in this town of after he got in trouble for doing it and he made a big deal out of it and played the victim card. Then, of course, the whole town got behind him, and the state congressman came and prayed with him in the next game. And then all of the Christians stormed onto the field and like knocked over some of the band members who were trying. The band was trying to take the field, but they were all storming on the field to join the coach to show him support because the evil liberals had told him he couldn't do his Christian prayer on the 50-yard line at the end of the game. Like, just the fact that he has to do it on the 50 fucking yard line, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't pray in your vehicle after.
You can't pray on the 30-yard line.
Or in the locker room.
And the sheer amount of people who wish they were in an after-school special is their personality is really what's bad too. Like all those people just let's be a part of this movement.
Look at the picture.
You're not really a part of it.
Yeah, that to me
look at
looks
the picture. If you don't think that you're on this football team and you want to be a player who gets to play, do you think you'd be pressured to fucking join the prayer? Or do you think if you're kind of borderline whether or not you're going to get to make the team or you're going to get cut, you're going to be like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to pray, coach.
Well, here's the thing is that you're exactly right, except for that's completely probably hypothetical. If you were to interview every single person at that school, there's probably not one fucking person there that goes against it. You know, I
Well,
don't even know where it is. I didn't really read anything about it. I'm just, making assumptions.
Yeah, I don't know
Sadly,
what
you're probably right about that.
Playing
Chad,
devil's advocate, I guess.
but people do feel
Satan.
obligated. I remember it in Walnut, Illinois, that like it was weird because one of the kids in our class, as a like a third grader, she might have been a Jehovah's Witness. I don't remember, but it was like she didn't want her family wouldn't let her participate in the birthday parties when there was like a mom would bring cupcakes for everybody on their birthday, and she had to leave the room by her own choice. So it was kind of a different situation. But that was the first time it ever dawned on me about the differences people had in their religions and shit. And it's kind of the same thing, right? Like there are people who are a different religion than this, who are completely ostracized by this kind of fucking activity. Absolutely.
Those kids could have had a cupcake if a parent just brought them on a day that wasn't their kid's birthday and said, we're just offering up cupcakes.
Yes, it was about
and then they could stay in there.
You had to loophole the cupcakes into the second grade classroom.
It might have been it might have not been a birthday, and it might have been like a Christmas-y sort of thing. I don't remember.
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays either.
Right.
It all holds.
Not mine.
I remember one of my first friends I made at school was because he didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance when everybody else did. And I was intrigued as a little kid, like, hey, dude, what the fuck? How come you don't do that? And he explained it to me, and I was like, all right. But I remember cool. I felt ostracized a lot as a little kid, and for a lot of reasons and I recognized him as a dude who was ostracized right away too. So I just made friends. That was the criteria of one of my very first friends when I was a little kid.
Did you join him in boycotting it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you could do that, and I was not that brave. I was just trying to blend in, man.
Yeah, I haven't said it in years, but I'll bet it's like you could probably reel it off without.
Oh fuck yeah, we never thought about
stands, it. Liberty, justice, fuck, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm positive. I know it. I did
tell all my kids they didn't have to say it if they didn't want to.
I want that football team right there, that group of white Christian kids, to play a real like black Nation of Islam team that just beats their asses.
How about this?
And then prays to Allah at the end on the 50-yard line, and doesn't let them. They have to go to the 40-yard line because the Nation of Islam
won.
Would you watch that? I'd watch that as a show.
I'd watch that
as a reality show. But you get like 5 or 6 different teams that have religious leanings or affiliations, and you need 6 teams. Can't do 5. You can't give Christians a bye anymore. They've had enough. They've gotten enough. Yeah, it's crazy. Like they don't have plan to stop. They're going to make the gay weddings or gay marriage. They're going to
by the time this episode airs, the Supreme Court will have already done a bunch more crazy.
Yeah, and I thought they were supposed to just
shit.
like
they're about to completely gut the EPA and throw basically the Clean Air and Water Act out. So you think it was shitty before. You watch a documentary like The Devil You Know, the story of DuPont, the DuPont chemical company, just poisoning the river that was next to their plant in Ohio or Pennsylvania or wherever the fuck it was, and everybody getting cancer. And if you think shit like that is bad, just wait until after this happens, because it's all going to stop. There's going to be no regulation whatsoever. Businesses will be able to do what they want, and all of these conservatives will be very, very happy about that. But in 20 years, everyone's going to have cancer.
Hey, man, I'm ahead of the curve.
Well, you'll be dead, but the rest of us will have cancer.
I'm from the future, not retarded.
It's just fucked up. Because
I don't understand it a whole lot, but and I hope I'm not inviting a whole bunch of political stuff, but it seems to me like the abortion thing, Like it's dumb and horrible, but it's always just been upheld by that court. So now, since they've done that, it's never been put on the ballot to be voted on by people. It
Correct.
can still be brought back, which it's,
Absolutely
I mean,
correct.
that's what's about to happen.
Well, absolutely correct, Chad. And this is the problem with the Democrats, is that they're such cunts. They're such sniveling cowards that they're afraid to do anything. Barack Obama was asked about this when he was elected in 2008. It's like 2009, whenever. He had a majority and everything. He could have codified Roe v. Wade. He could have made it a law. Yeah. He didn't.
But, I mean, we'll just do it now.
Like, well, they can't get it passed now because they don't have enough people on their side. But they still wouldn't try. They've never tried because they didn't want to do it because they're pussies. So
I'm just glad I'm done.
But you're totally right. They could have done it.
I'm just glad they're not taking my rights right now.
I thought I had an alarming thought earlier. It was really selfish, but I was like, oh shit, if I was a young person right now, fucking this, still fucking strangers and stuff, I would have to be figuring out how to move to California right now. And that is really shitty.
Fucked up.
I like Arizona for a lot of reasons, but I guess
there'll be an abortion tunnel.
Didn't your
we're on the border.
Your governor just Arizona's governor was just bragging about how they're like the most pro-life, anti-abortion place there is. Like, what the fuck, man?
So I would be finding a way the fuck out of here, but luckily it doesn't apply to me, I guess.
Yeah, we're kind of insulated from some of that.
Yeah,
and don't watch the news. I mean, that's another.
Yeah,
nobody will receive our jizz.
I just recently got a. Well, it won't do anything if they did.
It on a plate.
I mean, if you were you trying to make some bucks donating. They're like, how old are you? Yeah, no.
I know.
Let me see. How tall are you? No.
So your jizz are dead.
Yeah. They're dead inside. I don't know what, they swim and they're swimming like, backwards.
In some of these places, it hasn't even gotten that much worse because boots on the ground reality is that Roe v. Wade was gone in Mississippi already. There was only one abortion clinic in Mississippi in the whole fucking state.
Really?
These fucking Christian fascists have whittled away at people's rights so much that what was left was basically nothing. So now they just took the last little chunk away and made everyone mad. But if you were in Mississippi, nothing's really changed. You already couldn't get an abortion. So what should happen now, I think, is people should be active in trying to make the Plan B pill available and free everywhere. Easy to get. It should be easy to get. Any person should be able to get it.
It should be like Narcan.
Like Narcan and Plan B. Yeah. There you go.
It should be way easier to get than Narcan. It should, when you go to McDonald's drive-thru on a Sunday morning hungover and you get 2 breakfast burritos and a fucking the flapjack thing, they should be like, would you like Plan B with that?
It should be the hash brown option.
Dudes are gonna be roofie and chicks, but in a good way.
Yeah, just put some Plan B in the fucking hash brown then.
Yeah.
Put that in the breakfast.
Plan B hash brown. I'll take a Plan B hash brown to the lady.
Yes, because you're not gonna beat these fucking fascists at their fight. They've already won. They got the people they needed in the positions they needed to have them in. You're beat on the chessboard. You can't win the game.
It's kind of fun.
You have to try to win the game in reality on the ground. You have to mitigate the terror of. I mean, look, I feel like Chad and Andy, you both have daughters, and it's a weird thing. Like my daughter's kind of past the age when it would have been super critical if she got pregnant. Now if she got pregnant, I think it would be more of a planned thing.
Come on home, visit. You can't.
But what I'm saying is, like, if I had a daughter who was 14 right now, I would be shitting my fucking pants.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? If she gets pregnant, she can't have an abortion. Fuck that.
Yeah.
My daughter, I think
you
my
have to
daughter's
put the other shit
24
into
right
place.
now. And but I brainwashed her so well that last year she convinced the doctor to fix her.
Yeah.
Played the mental illness card. Says, I have mental illness in my family. I don't want to pass it along. They didn't bother to verify it or anything. They were just like, all right, here you go. And so she's happy with it. She started texting me. She's like, I'm so glad that, I would be so worried if this stuff applied to me right now. She was talking to me about, she goes, you don't know what a constant terror that is to just accidentally get stuck with some fucking retarded dude that you didn't, just hooked up with.
Who was it?
That's basically every girl who hooked up with any of us 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing this catchphrase in the state of Alabama. Y'all ain't got a rubber. Oh, well. Like that quick. Like that's not really even I guess I overheard it at McDonald's or something.
Is that the drive-through?
Yeah, that Birmingham
Fuck,
McDonald's.
do you overhear that? Jeez.
I think they left their speaker, so I don't know. It's weird. I heard from in the restaurant.
Walking to get popcorn at the drive-in.
But I mean, we've all been have you been to the South, haven't you, Chad?
I did basic or advanced training in South Carolina.
So I mean, it's like there's people that are plenty bright there or whatever, but there's a fucking real low bar on the fucking low end of it. It's just stupid, and like I'm talking about, just like racist white trash folk that you run into, and I'm sure there's probably equally hatred for those fucks too. Because if that group hated me, I'd hate them back equally hard. You fucking Nazis.
It's really interesting because as all this was happening, I started reading a lot of backstories and different context about this. Abortion was never a thing that people in this country thought of in a way that killed babies. That's totally new. All right, like you can go back to the 1700s and the 1800s. And people tried to get abortions back then, but they tried to do it by mixing some herbs and fucking, they had like this
Penny Royal and Cohosh tea.
Moss.
Right. It didn't work very well.
Deadwood.
But the point is that no one then, and this is what's so fucked about the Supreme Court saying that Roe v. Wade doesn't have a tradition within the Constitution and the history of the country. Nobody back then thought you were killing a baby if you drank some Penny Royal tea and had a miscarriage. No one thought that. That's a totally new thing. It started with Jerry Falwell when he was trying to fucking figure out how to he was a grifter who was trying to figure out how to make money. And he hit on this abortion thing. It got some traction, and he started saying baby over and over and over again. And if you say that over and over and over again, people are going to start to think that it's really a baby in there. It's not. It's a fetus. If you saw a fucking 10-week-old fetus in your yard, you'd beat it to death with a shovel. That is not a person.
What if it was like the same?
But Falwell did that because he knew he could fundraise off of it. He didn't even give a fuck if those babies lived. He just knew it was a money-making thing for him. Yeah. And then the fucking thing started to grow, and it got so fucking big.
The baby
became what it is.
If you saw like a fetus, what if you saw like a 6-foot fetus? It's like, like all gummy limbed and shit, and comes up and it's like takes a poke at you. You'd fucking fight for you'd kill it.
Poke at you?
Well, I don't think they like alligator arms is the right word.
T-Rex.
But that'd be like that'd be a quick invasion.
So Jenny
you can't take care of them.
Jenny works in the OB department delivering babies. And they've had, this conversation, and most of those people that she works with kind of came to the same consensus. Like, yeah, basically, you can terminate it to a certain point. And they're like, well, at what point? And then Jenny had it, like, I think, seemed to be the most reasonable point. Like at 20-something weeks, a baby can survive outside of the womb with a lot of help in a specialized hospital. So there.
Right.
think-
At that point, you don't need, you're basically a parasite until that point, and then you
that's-
can live on your own.
Yeah, that's what
What
the law was.
What
Yeah.
if
What the law was.
Yeah.
what if you could just like sign on with the government, like you don't want to have a baby, but you having one, you know, against your will or whatever.
Why do you
can
have a picture of
s-
Sean Rouse up behind you? Shay?
Yeah,
That's the
That's a
only
good-
thing that came up when I put in deformed fetus. It's Sean Rouse's spilt milk album.
Poor guy.
Oh.
whatever
Andy, I
happened.
interrupted you. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
yeah, well, I was also like, I was trying to go, what was I talking about? But anyway, like if you're having a baby, you don't want to have a baby, you go, okay, I'm gonna, you know, however long you want to sign up, you raise it for 3 years, and then it goes to the military, and the military can raise it from age 3, which, you know, sounds like too young. You can start teaching them computer stuff right away, and, you know, little responses, and, you know, be better to have a soldier trained, and it's an unwanted kid anyway, so it's not like, you know, there's going to
Wait,
be a Saving
wait,
Private
wait,
Ryan.
wait.
Give
What?
the smarter ones to the church to lead them up to manipulate people. It's a good system.
I'm not saying I'm for it. Oh, but if I was if
we
I
gotta
was
have
made,
something to do with them.
here's what I would do as president, and I, you know, I got a couple of drunk
That's
driving
probably
charges.
the worst idea I've ever heard, Andy.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm for it, but here's a good one. This will win you back. Is if I was president, I would get everybody who professes to be a Christian. I'd have a national pray off, and then I would tattoo the mark of the beast on all their heads. Not because I believe I was the Antichrist. I think it would be hilarious. Just go, you know, you go, we're just still putting, and then burn it under their head, and now you got the mark of the beast. You're like, you know, then you can keep track of them. And you can't let them all get together and vote as a block. Anyway, I'm not going to probably be president.
Probably.
I
not.
wish I was more of a fucking, you know, huckster and could pull it off. I could pull off a really pathetic cult leader, but it'd be more like a support group.
Well, you're gonna need help because you can't even handle a box of shirts.
I
We
get
could
Mac.
Andy into the state legislature. I bet we had a lot of
Well,
people.
what was it
around
you
him.
were running for at one time? You were
Water. I
gonna-
was trying to get in charge of the water because I know once you control
Water's
the
life, man. That's
yeah,
the
you
way
control.
in.
And then I would
Those
just
you-
like, they would have me in charge of the water, and then when I was done, they'd be like, it'd be like a Rango. I'd be the guy with the big water bottle, hiding it from everybody. I'd just fill up a bunch of empty containers, and they go, "Where's the water?" I'm still managing it. I'm leaving office, and yeah, I ran it. Well, I encouraged a write-in campaign to get me a position in one of them write-in uncontested positions, and I still didn't win. You know, there's a lot of politics that go into running unopposed. You know, but I think that was I think, you know, my grift was trying to get about 30 or 40 votes, and the real grift was trying to get, you know, is controlling and getting 100 or maybe
Yeah.
200. So I'm gonna.
What's the reference to Rango? Andy?
Well, there's a guy who's hoarding the water. Says what, you know.
this
the
Rango,
cartoon,
the-
this cartoon right here,
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Johnny
Uh,
Depp.
Johnny
Yeah.
Depp?
Yeah,
I
You
like
watched
that Andy
Rango?
dropped
Did
that
you
in
watch
like
that
we've
with your
all seen
kid?
that.
yeah. Well, we all saw Clueless, so I thought there was a fight chance. I've seen it. Rango's a great just background movie to have on it. Yeah, and it's about water rights. It's like Chinatown. It's about water.
I gotta watch that one now. I've never seen.
You've
that
never
one,
watched
but after-
Chinatown?
No, but after watching The Offer, now I want to watch it.
It's
Chinatown's
so
good, man.
Chinatown is so good.
Oh
Nicholson,
my god.
I think it's Nicholson's best movie. I think he's good in a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
Chinatown is really fucking good too. And
It's
yeah,
really
I
good when
finally
you know what's
finished.
going on too.
I powered through the last 2 episodes of The Offer last night. I've done nothing else. I've watched nothing else but The Offer because I've been working 13 hours a day for 6 days a fucking week, and it sucks. But The Offer was great.
So good.
And how about our boy Sandro Iocolano? He was so fucking good. I thought that he had a part in The Offer. I thought he was going to be like a waiter that came up to a table and said hello.
Right.
Yeah.
He was huge. He was a huge part of episode 9.
Changed the whole dynamic of the thing. Like the whole thing brightened up. As soon as I was done, I texted him. I fucking loved you. Like
I couldn't believe it. Like I knew it was great. Like I thought it was amazing when I got done watching episode 8, and then they showed coming up on The Offer, and the first scene cut to Sandro going Cosa Nostra. Oh yeah, they run everything around here, and like that was the opening scene of the coming up, and I'm like, oh, he fucking made it into the trailer for the next episode. That's pretty fucking great. And then when I watched it, he was in. He had tons of. He was huge.
We saw the back
van with them when they were cruising to the next town in the middle seat. In the middle seat with the camera right on him.
With Brando and Al Pacino.
Right. Well, not Brando. Brando didn't.
Oh, Brando wasn't.
Brando was out.
But yeah, that was he
yeah.
was fucking great, and I haven't talked to him since I saw it. But I don't know if he knows Italian, but he sounded like he fucking knows Italian. He had to, right?
Yeah,
he has to. I've never known that about him, but it was so good. God, he was.
And
so
how
good.
about the reaction shot from a view of the back of his pants?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that he told Carrie Mitchell that, it was pretty embarrassing. I forgot my belt that day on the fucking, and then his underwear is hanging out.
Yeah, but, which could have ruined the whole movie if they were like, wait, that brand didn't exist then.
Calvin Klein.
A stage man.
Stage man, that's right.
He's wearing
By the
rhinos.
way, stage man underpants are by far the best underpants available on the
market.
Well, the way we made some money off of freeze pipe when we started talking about freeze pipe, I would just like to say that stage man is the best underwear available, and I don't care if we ever make any money off of it, but if I can get a few pairs sent to me.
Well, do they have the ball gripping technology like Saks and
No.
I prefer stage man.
Everything you know about underwear and throw it out the window.
Yes.
Stage man is completely different.
Stage man is a whole nother level.
What does they do with your balls?
Oh, you know what? I am wearing them right now. If they become a sponsor, I will stand up with my stage man underwear in
Chaille.
In screen.
Chaille, pull up.
I've never heard
of the old timey pandemic masks when they had those masks with the giant long noses.
Yes.
The
old plague doctors.
The plague doctors, that's the stage man underwear.
Really?
Basically, the guy.
These hold everything in the front.
He just what he did is he sewed a whole nother pair of underwear onto the front of the underwear, and then all of your junk just goes in that. And
how do they do with
it's like if your Saks underwear had Saks underwear.
A pair of Saks had Saks with some Calvins.
Double Saks, baby.
Huh. Well, I'm always looking for new ways to brush my teeth and cradle my cock.
Oh, dude, these are, and like for swimming or being like in a hot tub, I do the hot tub a lot. They're really good for that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh,
I like them very
much. When did these fall down into the marketplace?
The guy approached Doug at on a tour where it was just Doug. Doug just flew out and did like some one-nighters, and we got. That guy sent us a bunch. I think I gave you a pair, Erickson.
Yeah, I got a pair.
Yeah. So I'll reach out to him and see if we can do something. Maybe
I have one pair of stage mans, and what I have to do is that's the only time I plan anything. I don't plan anything in my week, but what I do is after the laundry's done, I think, all right, which days, which days do I want to be wearing my stage mans? Like, I won't wear them until those days arrive. Like, I'm not going to wear them early and fucking, now they're fucking gross and dirty. I can't wear them. And I got a big thing coming up.
Seems like for nature jacking, it would be good in that after transition.
You could jack off right in your stage man. You wouldn't even have to take your dick out.
I've
never tried that.
The only thing that I don't do in them is sleep. Because if I get a boner while I'm sleeping, it gets uncomfortable enough that I have to wake up and
take care of
pull
it,
it
huh?
out or pull them down or something to tuck it up under
I got-
the waistband or something.
I got 10-pound weights around here.
You don't need weights.
Oh, well, this guy behind you's
But
got
no,
You're
that's an
looking at the
ad.
wrong part of the picture, Andy.
And he's like, whenever I'm with my wife and there's something on TV and I'm just trying to focus on something else, not the tits that are right there. I'm like,
yeah.
I really like that wallpaper that's going
Yeah.
on in that room.
Guys, what are you? He looks like about a 32 waist. No, he's about a 30. It looked like about a 28.
This is the guy. This is the owner of the company,
Huh.
and
He
he
just-
does it all. He does it all by himself. He's a lawyer,
He's-
and I think he got into intellectual property or something like that, and that's kind of his jam anyway. And then he's come up with this design, and then he had to basically put all his money into getting manufactured. They got shipped back, and his apartment had no furniture in it, just boxes and boxes of Stage Man underpants that he now is sitting on, but wasn't selling. And he just sat there and cried in the dark.
He could have used the pocket of one of them to cry into.
Yeah, I could have done
Blow his
that.
nose.
And his name is Stage Man, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe that's his last name.
I think that I should do a
Absolutely.
AM, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do
So-
it, but I would like a model named after me. I want the Shank model, and I want it to have a fly opening on the side, so I can pull my dick out the side and pee, because having to pull him all the way down is I don't like that.
Yeah, it could have
Wait.
we
might
might want
wanna-
an opening.
We might be able to.
like it could be like this.
By the
And then
just right
just
on the side of the
that.
balls.
Yeah.
How about
That.
this though? Okay, it was like the balls, dick and balls were on their own, for a long time, and then like there was a design that cradles your balls, and this guy comes along and goes, "This should be a place for your dick," and the balls can fit in like they do anyway. But what if you had the ability to have like a Dutch oven kind of technology, or you blast out so you don't stink immediately, or maybe you just
You're right. You're gonna
They
do
have
a
those.
fart
A
under
Dutch oven doesn't
Charcoal.
blast out.
yeah,
You
well,
have like
Dutch
a
oven
charcoal filter in
contains-
the ass.
Man, yeah, like a charcoal filter with
They have
match.
those.
They
Oh,
have
really?
that.
For
He was
people
on, he
that
was
fart?
on fucking
Yes.
he
I
was, he
think
was on
someone sent you
Dragon's
those,
Den.
Andy, already. Didn't you
Yeah,
get a
Damn
the
box
it.
of
Stage
those?
Man, your nuts and everything goes up in that pouch, and it's a
Everything.
whole thing. It
That's
holds
the
everything
thing is
up.
that it's
Your nuts
Stage
do
Man-
not rub on your
And-
thighs whatsoever during the summer.
can't.
It's fantastic.
And
Oh, yeah.
Chaille will tell you this. When he sent me my pair of Stage Mans, I thought, and then I put forth that he should change his name or the pronunciation of his name, because to me it seemed better as a European kind of thing. I thought it should be Stagaman. Like it sounds more like they've thought this through. Stage Man seems like something weird's happening. They haven't. Like, why is it? Why am I going to have to go on stage with this? No, these are Stagaman. They're from
That's-
Sweden.
Oh.
It's got the latest Norwegian technology. Get a pair of Stagamans.
See, I went the opposite way. These are for going on stage. These are presenters. You're presenting what you got right up front.
I guess that's true. I'm more of a sticky fingers kind of guy when it comes to presenting on stage. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Chaille, pull up the Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers album cover.
All right.
Last time I was at the Funhouse, we were all fucked up, and we brought up Stage Man, and Stanhope's like, "You're wearing Stage Man?" Yeah. So both of us have our fucking pants down, fucking dancing around with our Willy Wang
Oh,
fucking pouch,
it sounds like
bouncing around.
sounds like something they could use for a spot ad. It's not all sexy. I mean, that's kind of sexy, both, but
No, you look ridiculous wearing them, but they're also
Gotta
by
embrace
far
it, man.
the most comfortable pair of underpants you've ever seen.
I
Yeah.
put them on to show Jenny, thinking she would be like, "Ah, damn," you know what I mean? Because it's very flattering.
It's like
And,
the push-up bra for your dick.
Yes, yeah.
You're-
And
yeah.
she broke into fucking laughter. And I was like, oh well, that's not what I was hoping for.
Your junk goes proud.
Yeah.
It's very out front.
So
And
summer
I want to bring up something, Andy.
Yeah.
We're all very familiar with the previous technology, which wasn't really like StageMan. StageMan is basically a pouch that is completely containing both your balls and your dick, right?
Yeah.
But the lesser technology, which we thought was great at the time, it is basically just two pieces of fabric, like just in between. This is completely lifting and separating from everything.
Yeah.
I still use I use the other ones for sleeping. And
Yeah.
the stage man for daytime, because it's great to have your thighs back where your nuts are not anywhere close in between your legs when you're walking. It's weird at first.
We're
Your
getting a
dick
little
and
too.
balls
very
feel
good.
like they're not even in underwear.
I'm starting to feel like we're getting too political again.
I like it.
I think the dick and balls need to work together.
I thought we were supposed to be gay. This is pretty gay, guys.
Oh,
yeah,
We've
yeah.
been talking about underwear for 10 minutes.
Oh,
No,
you
this
want-
is a
there's
lifestyle
plenty
show,
more
Chad.
gay
We're
underwear
talking
than
about
stage
lifestyle right now.
Yeah. So who's the model on the sticky finger?
Well, that's Mick Jagger. And his
That's
cock.
Mick. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and his sock.
Well,
Or it's
I
just his
mean,
cock.
look, it's an album cover. You figure
Yeah.
it out. He did what
Yeah.
he had to do.
Uh-huh. Well, that's rock
But-
and roll, baby.
Yeah, he was all about having it off to the side and pressed down flat. That's how you go on stage if you're Mick Jagger. And
Yeah.
you cannot argue with Mick Jagger. It's stage presence. It
Uh-huh.
worked.
That album had a lot on it, man.
Yeah.
Brown Sugar, Wild Horses,
Moonlight
Bitch,
Mile,
Can't Hear Me Knocking. Can't You Hear Me Knocking?
Dead Flowers,
That's your favorite, right?
Sister Morphine.
Sister Morphine, yeah.
That's right in the run. I did my recommendation as Exile on Main Street. Sticky Fingers was the album that came out right.
Don't do it. Yeah.
No, this is not my recommendation. But Sticky Fingers is the album that came out right before Exile. Think. Yeah, right before Exile. So it was in that run of like they were in a fucking
Mm-hmm.
groove.
Yeah.
Like from Beggar's Banquet on, which was 69. They put out some albums that were just from front to back, just every song was incredible. Every song. Sticky Fingers is fucking great.
I just downloaded when you were talking about Exile on Main Street. I went back and I downloaded Some Girls because I didn't have that album.
Ah.
It just made me look at some of the older stuff. But yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Some Girls is like 77, I think. And that's when disco was happening. So they were starting to get a little disco-y. And they started to get a little bit disco-y. And then in like 79, I think they did, can't remember what even the name of it was. It had She's So Cold on it and Under Cover of the Night. There were some good songs.
Yeah.
But then in 81, they came back with Tattoo You, which was one of the greatest rock and roll albums of all time. So if you go from Beggar's Banquet to Tattoo You in like a 12-year run, I don't think any band's ever put out as much quality as that over that kind of time.
Insane.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And they're still doing it. I saw fucking Mick Jagger on Twitter yesterday posted some picture from some concert with 80,000 people. He's dancing 78 fucking years old. 78.
Yeah. We never got
What
to.
the fuck is going
I
on?
know. Like, what did Elvis do? Elvis died at. He died in his 30s, right? Elvis.
He died
Or
on
did he
the
make?
toilet.
I know he died on the toilet, but how old was he?
I don't know.
I remember he.
I'm looking it up.
78.
42.
So 42. Yeah. Could you imagine Elvis fucking swinging it around still? Well,
I mean, I could imagine it.
yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe they made a new movie about.
I know. Yeah.
I saw the first review I saw of that was 5 stars from the Guardian.
5 stars.
5 stars. They said it is an amazing movie, which surprised me because I thought, who wants to see a fucking movie about Elvis? We already know everything we need to know.
You have
about
to
Elvis.
explain it to half the audience who Elvis.
I
is.
guess. I mean, and to me, I thought the opposite. Who cares? We've all seen this already. but the Guardians review was it's incredible. So that it intrigued me a little bit.
Anybody see Top Gun 2? I'm not gonna see it. I don't feel, I'm not like protesting it or anything. I just don't, I don't want to find I like it. I just think, you know, let it lie with Meg Ryan and Goose.
Well, that Miles Tellerman is in Maverick.
Miles Teller.
Is it Teller?
Teller, yeah.
Miles Teller. He plays Ruddy in The Offer.
He's the new John Cusack.
He's Goose's son, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw that Miles guy in that movie Whiplash. Anybody see that?
I did not see Whiplash.
Whiplash was a pretty intense movie, and it was about a drummer. I don't know. I liked it.
Oh,
It had a-
yeah.
It's the one with the guy who's on the State Farm or the insurance commercial
Henry Phillips side.
yeah, punching.
Star. Yeah, he what's his name? That guy.
Jade.
He's
The farmer's insurance guy.
Yeah. We are farmers.
J.K. Simmons.
Hey, let's get them as a sponsor.
I think we just did.
How about Wheels Fargo? We'll be your team. We'll go to
Wait,
bat for
Wheels
it.
Fargo?
Well, they're a bunch of crooks, so we could fucking we'll align ourselves. And
Wheels Fargo is a pedicab company in
Wells Fargo, the bank,
Las Cruces,
whatever.
New Mexico.
They're man.
I
When
guess
I was
they do in
back in the
North Dakota.
past, a guy was heckling them, and then I didn't know what he meant, but now I do. They're a fucking criminal organization disguised as, and now a lot of them are closed up their branches, and homeless people are sleeping in the drive-through.
Every single bank is a criminal organization.
Right. The Catholic Church is corrupt. You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? It's interesting. It's in the news.
Have you heard this? Have you seen this?
We can laugh because we're men. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still men, and they haven't fucked with our rights a whole bunch. We can be like, hey, baby,
And
that's
we're
terrible.
white men, so we're even
Yeah.
better off.
Yeah, we go to our
We can
elite
pray on the 50-yard
clubhouses.
line.
Yeah,
That's
once we get,
absolutely correct.
yep. Once we get in our all man clubhouse, we can laugh about it. But out here, while we're front facing the public, you know, we support you, ladies.
This is when Matthew McConaughey should step forward and
He-
make his run for president. He should say
He gives.
the only thing that should happen on the 50-yard line is you should smoke a joint.
All right. Well, I
That's
say,
what they did in Dazed and Confused. They went out to the 50-yard
Yeah.
line to smoke that joint when he made his speech about, you know.
what if we
living.
get Bill Pullman to speak over the loudspeaker and introduce Matthew McConaughey? Like throw his endorsement from a pretend president to
Today is our Independence Day.
yeah. And now a guy you know from Dazed and Confused. And watch
It's like Idiocracy, but a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, we went-
yeah,
We went like Idiocracy, but a little bit worse. Now
Yeah.
let's try like Idiocracy, but a little bit better.
the TV shows are probably all out there. Like every show that they showed is a goof on that. Like there's basically the Kick in the Nuts show.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say, I like the 1,000-pound sister one. I thought that
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah. I'd
Well,
watch.
listen, when
I
I
have
saw
watched that show.
Idiocracy and they were showing "Ooh, my balls,"
Yeah.
I thought that's funny. I
Yeah.
would watch that. I would watch a show of people getting hit in the nuts
Well,
all day long.
We kind of do if we're on
Yeah.
YouTube
But
enough.
again, I know
Yeah.
we kind of do. What I'm saying is, I legitimately would watch it where that's what it was.
Mhm.
Like it didn't seem that forward to me. I thought, oh, that's actually very funny now. I think it's always funny when someone gets kicked in the nuts, gets hit in the nuts.
Not if they're wearing a diaper and patting themselves. It's
Well,
not-
that's cheating.
that's cheating. That guy should have been
And
kicked
it's
out of
funny if you kick him in the ass. That's hilarious.
the.
Well,
Yeah.
if he turns his back on you, he has it coming.
Yeah.
because
That's his
that
fault.
seems like a fucking
Yeah. Yeah. He's
bullshit thing
he's
to
trying
do.
to. He was like that congressman. He was faking like he's on the phone.
Oh,
Part
yeah,
of his
yeah, yeah.
shtick.
So, in case you're watching this and you have no idea, we're talking
Yeah.
about when I kicked a guy in the balls on Fremont Street for he was charging $20 to.
He got grifted me for a bit, and then I was like, I was bummed because I kicked him 3 times. He let me kick him 3 times in the nuts, or like somebody paid for it because I was on LSD and pocket money and shit. But this guy paid for it, and I kicked him, and it didn't. And then I was bummed, and then I saw you, and I was like, "Wait, you played soccer?" And then I introduced you, and that was one of the.
Then after I did it, I told Andy I actually never played soccer. I just found out about soccer after.
Oh no. Yeah, is that this guy or a different guy? But that was
a different guy.
Ooh, that guy's got a toe right into the nuts.
He's got a toe.
Don't you think that big fat guy's gonna hit?
Here's the thing. Let me just tell you this. I do know enough about soccer to know this. Whatever sort of padding, whatever that guy who's getting kicked has, the last thing you want to do is put your toe on it. You do not kick a soccer ball with your toes. The toes are the only part of the foot that a soccer player never touches the ball with, ever.
I think that's what killed Bob Marley.
Toes. And if you kick a guy in the balls and he's got a bunch of hard padding there, you're gonna break your toes.
Look at this guy. This guy's got air.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a soccer player right there, because that's a guy going for the bicycle kick style, jump into the air and Superman.
So do you think he's got his nuts taped up on his belly area? I mean, I don't understand what.
He's probably got four pairs of sacks and a cup.
He's not wearing stage mans because he'd be all.
No way. He'd be doubled over.
Ooh, yeah,
I want to see what I want to see it happen, and it's probably the payoff you never get is where somebody like that just comes along and kicks them and just takes their feet out from under them and drops them. Has that ever happened, or is that
there's some kind of there's something going on, because these guys have no fear no matter who comes up.
Yeah.
And the only time that guy yelled was because you tried to kick him from behind.
I mean, you can wear a cup.
I would like to see it just like, wear pajama pants and loose fly.
I mean, I wouldn't wear a cup
and a thong.
Yeah. Well, I'll never do that unless they say, kick me in the dick. Because you got to see that. You can say you kick me in the nuts, and that's a region. It's like the region of nuts. But you kick somebody in the dick, you're kicking them on their dick. And I would do that for
that's
$5.
precision though.
How about this?
Aiming for the nuts, you might accidentally kick a dick.
How about this? You go up to that person who's doing the kick me in the nuts thing, and you get out $200 in front of everyone, and you say, "Take your dick and balls out." And I will give you $200.
And if he was Catholic, he'd present without thought.
I mean, it's just money. You can negotiate $1,000. I can give you $1,000. You take your dick and balls out right now and let me kick you in there.
I wonder if there's is there like, guys who work independently, or is there like somebody who's like in charge of the guys?
like a dick kick pimp?
Yeah, like a talent agency, and the only talent is life is so shitty that you'd stand there and take that kind of abuse.
It's an underground group of eunuchs, and nobody knows it.
Yeah. I can't be humiliated. I thought I would just call you guys and see if you had any work.
Yeah, we can get you like every other Wednesday right now. Maybe you gotta do like open mics first.
You could do. You'd have to do it a few blocks over. Just be the pee on me guy. Just piss all over.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the pictures of that Andy took or Mitchell took.
I remember seeing those pictures. Yeah,
I have some good ones, because I was also wearing my 70s brown leisure suit with the turtleneck.
Oh, that's right.
And so it just made for a good visual. It looked like The Offer. It looked like it was from The Offer. It looked like it was from the 70s. Like,
it'd be cool to go around and try to be like a deprogrammer and talk to those guys. Man, you can't be doing this anymore. They probably.
They do advertise on some of these that they're not wearing a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what.
I mean, are they willing to prove it?
I guess they would never lie on they'd never lie on a Craigslist ad, would they?
Yeah, a cardboard ad, but hastily made, is always truthful.
All
Yeah.
balls, no cup. That should have been the name of our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, we come
that's
up
a-
with a name that we
that's a
should
good
have
one.
done instead of Issues with Andy, but all balls, no cup would have been a fucking great name. Oh shit, I'm drunk.
Yeah, you're in that. You got that fucking beer in the tub or beer in the shower.
No, I
business.
didn't do the beer in the tub
Oh.
today. I did the wine. I'm a
Uh-huh.
bottle of red wine in.
Do you play the Flintstones theme on the way out at all? Ever? Just to, goof on yourself?
I mean, no,
Will
I wish-
now.
Yeah.
but to me, it feels more like, you guys remember the Deer Hunter?
Oh yeah,
There's a
Movie
season of
Deer
Deer Hunter
Hunter.
when they're all getting off work and they're all walking out of the steel factory. That's what it feels like, because everyone gets off work basically at the same time. So everyone's kind of walking out at the same time. And lately
Shifting.
I've been working a lot later than that, but normally we all walk out at sort of the same time. So there's like a bunch of people walking out of it just feels very much like a factory, like a
yeah, like you're in a Pink Floyd black and white video.
yeah, and not the good, and not the good part of the song.
Yeah, the part of the wall before the wall comes down.
Right before they all fucking fall off a cliff.
That was when
Yeah,
I worked at
that.
the mines. That's how it was, and I miss it sometimes. I'll get nostalgic for it sometimes. It was a time in my life, I guess, is all it is.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
well, I tell you, Chad, we talked about it. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy like just knowing, like, I don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to think about it. It's just, this is what it is. You go there, you do the thing you're supposed to do. Everyone else does all their thing. Like, it's so easy mentally. That part's I dig. So
You can't put a comedic twist on it.
oh, I turn the boxes in funny ways when I deliver.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So you're
He
Hey, is
leaves
that
the
Fredo?
forklift out of gas for the next
Yeah.
guy on shift.
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to cut the box tops, so sometimes I don't cut them. I mean, hilarious, right?
yeah, man. It sounds like the world has changed. The factory world has changed since I worked the green chain back in 1985.
That 2-week run.
I had back with Hoot Looney overseeing me. It's pretty different. But before I worked in that mill, that's where me and my dad and my we'd sell newspapers. When the mill whistle would blow, we would be there with extra copies. I don't know what that was all about. I think that was my dad working a scam. But we sold extra copies down to guys leaving the mill, like Zacchaeus, the wee little man, and Sniffer Ridlin, and guys like that would come out. And my dad had here's Wart Woman. She comes off the glue line or whatever. And then later in life, I would run into the Wart. I used to deliver. I guess we made a connection because the Wart Woman got it home delivered. Or maybe she didn't want to be called Wart Woman when she bought the paper.
It's in the explanation of why she doesn't want to leave the house.
I love it when Andy discovers the answer during the podcast.
40 years later.
Oh, and she was one of
He hasn't
Uh,
even got to the
maybe I'll
question
take
mark
this-
yet.
Yeah,
There's just
maybe
a
I'll take
comma and then the answer, and he's not even
Yeah.
done yet.
Maybe I'll take this delivery at home.
All right. Hey, how about you, Zacchaeus? You want to climb up in the sycamore tree? That's from the Bible, yo. I can quote the
know.
scriptures. You know that one?
Zacchaeus? Yes,
Yeah.
of course. He was a wee little man.
Yeah, and these big motherfuckers were blocking his view. So he climbed up in a tree, but they didn't like that. So the Romans killed him.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. I don't know what happened to the little fucker, but we sold him a paper every time. I would run over to Zacchaeus because he was about my height. And I would hand him a paper. There's a one-armed guy who'd come out. We hand him.
But you're giving the papers away, or you were selling them?
We're selling them.
So did
we
you
didn't hand
steal them
the-
from a
We did, but we
Yeah.
were also
A 7th grade boy who was selling.
But
the
here's
papers.
what I'm
He would ride
remembering.
his bike past the Andrist
too,
house,
it's,
and they would knock him over. on
Where
his
my
bike.
dad got extra copies to sell was from a box.
yeah.
So, but we were legit paper people. Like I had a, but I think that's where the extra copies. I don't know that it was, maybe it was an entitlement, not a grift, but it feels like it was a grift. I sure wish my dad would have had the ability to walk longer. We could have had more adventures. But just didn't want to roll him down that hill. It's a lot of responsibility.
Well, you gotta
For
go
a
back up.
9-year-old? Yeah.
Well, if he can't slow it with his hands, you got to hit the feet and drag it to a stop. I did it when I was like, it's probably like riding with Mac when I was too young to be responsible.
Barney, it's like Barney Rubble in the in
I was
the
killing
Flintstones.
I was
So
killing
so your dad was like, Andy, there are signs that tell you when to slow down my wheelchair. Like, oh, there's no signs. I don't know when they sneak right up on you.
There's
there
a
was
stop
quarter mile sign.
there's a stop sign at the bottom of this hill that I would always blow by. I never respected that as a thing. Like if I take my wagon down there, we'd roll through the intersection and hope for the best. And same with with Dad and bicycles and cars. Fuck that intersection. But yeah, that was the thing. My dad, he could have done more, but we'd have to drag him down the hill. So nobody really wanted to do that. So it was very rare that he got down there anymore. It was like a shame because he should have been down sitting at a place making fun of people. It's like, that's what you did, Dad. And now you're sitting here and you're mad about my 501 pants, 501 jeans. They got called shrink to fit, man. Hang them on. He'd do that, like, hang them on the line. They ain't
That's
gonna
right, because
want.
you didn't want to dry them.
He didn't. I get new 501s.
Look,
and it would throw the machine off or whatever. And he didn't
no,
like
it's
to
not
do it.
even throwing the machine off. Let me just tell you the answer to this. Your dad did not like hearing those 5 buttons
Those buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Tearing
fun.
up the
mashing
washing
against the
machine.
drying machine. Like
Yeah.
right, in the washer, it's fine, but in the dryer, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jerry Mitchell now wears nothing but fucking hillbilly suspenders, and it's when she
Oh,
watches
they got the
clothes,
buckles.
it's the loudest thing you've ever heard. It sounds
Yeah.
like
Like Ralphie May's pants with all the lighters and keys and shit that he left in the pockets.
Andy, I fucking thought about that the other day. My granddaughter wanted to help with the laundry, and she's 8, so she's trying to jump up, and she was trying to pull my jeans out of the washing machine, and there was no way she could do it, and I was busted out laughing because all I could think of was you and Ralphie May's jeans.
Yeah, I did the laundry flip at Ralphie's and it was pretty amazing. But I, probably his man guy or his servant or, his fellow, his assistant. That's, I have terrible. It's like, man assistant or whatever.
I mean, you could have just said assistant.
Yeah.
You're
like
the one who chose all those
his
other
good
words.
friend and he lived with him for a while. And the guy made a nice espresso. He probably would have gone through Ralphie's pants.
With a little
A
lemon
nice
twist.
espresso.
Yeah. It's a
Did
nice
he make it
twist.
fast?
He made it on, I'm like, say, I'd like a nut. I mean, I had 2 of them in one morning. So, he reset the machine and it's like, it's like if you were visiting the Cartwrights and then Hop Sing, you just eventually go, yeah, well, okay, Hop Sink, would you make me bring me an espresso or whatever. And it's like, Hop Sink had worked. I think Hop Sink worked for the Cartwrights. He was not a slave, but some people think Hop Sink might have been a
Hop Sing.
Hop Sing.
Oh, we've been through this.
I thought he was a slave. And I feel like Courtship of Eddie's father had a similar. Yeah, but did he get treated like,
He was too sassy to be a slave.
Did he sing? Did he sing on the Christmas album? I hope. I'm asking. I'd like to hear it if he did. But they did. There was a Bonanza Christmas album. And I just remember, Lauren Green having a pretty good pipes. But I think Dan Blocker sang one too. It was like
oh yeah, I bet.
It was a fucking fine Christmas album. I wish I still had it in the rotation. Only I don't celebrate Christmas because there's nobody to celebrate with.
It looks like Michael Landon, Dan Blocker, and
do you think he just did the cooking, or do you think
what's his name?
Do you think he did laundry?
Lauren Green.
You think he did light housework and laundry?
No windows.
You never ever see a clothesline.
No windows.
You never see him. Joe gets a little dusty around the collar after a bar fighter, but they're always in Chris shirts and shit. Hop Sink does.
Chaille, go back to that last picture before
Yeah,
we
that
go to the
requires
Christmas thing. Go back to that last picture.
So that's four
When you
guys.
really think about it, I'm sorry to interrupt, Andy.
Go ahead.
When you really think about this, when they wrote Deadwood, they were basically just rewriting Bonanza.
Yeah.
Updating it because that's fucking Swearingen cocksucker talking to fucking Al Swearingen right there. That's what that is. It was the same dynamic, only 50 years before, and the same joke. He couldn't speak English, and there was a miscommunication. Only he didn't say San Francisco cocksucker. He said whatever he said.
In McClintock, John Wayne movie, McClintock, he gets the new hot chick, I think it's Yvonne DiCarlo, to come in and be the new cook.
Wow.
Oh yeah, in her heyday.
Man.
And I think
there's your recommendation. That's what I'm gonna watch.
And it's on free everywhere. And he brings her to be the new cook, and the Asian guy gets all freaked out and threatens to kill himself. And no, you're not. You're being retired. You're still gonna be part of the family. You don't have to cook anymore. But it's like you said, it's formulaic, same thing.
They did that with Alice on the Brady Bunch. She was like, more family eventually. Sassy housemaid, and she lived off a corner of the kitchen. Occasionally the dude
lived in the kitchen, Andy.
Yeah. What a fucking, maybe she was originally like a slave too. We don't know. We might have been sold this trafficking thing for a lot of years.
It does seem like it when you look back on what we've been presented.
Yeah, like Mrs. Livingston on Courtship of Eddie's Father. It's like you can't eat at the table with them.
Yeah,
it's like what's he's telling he's like cool in front of the kid, and then he's like, keep your ass back here, bitch. You come out here.
And basically, and this is how it works. It's basically an easy plot device for a writer
to get rid of her.
Well, it's just easy. Like, what's this character's story? Oh, there is no story. This character just lives behind the kitchen and comes into the scene and provides the lines that need to be provided to move the plot along. Yeah. It's lazy writing. But when you do it a bunch of times over a broad spectrum of shows, you end up creating this world in which people think it's okay to have someone living off of your kitchen. And now we have pedophile rings run by Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, you can't always hire Alice. This is Larry. He's living in the kitchen now. You don't even want Larry in the kitchen, let alone living right next to it. At least that's my experience.
It was really, when you look at shit like this, everything you're showing, Chaille, it just occurred to me, it really is Seinfeld, the Seinfeld show that killed sitcoms properly. Like it's given its credit for being a great show. I think it's a great show. Larry David's a genius, but like a show about nothing, that's what killed it. Like every one of these things you're showing is a sitcom setup. Like, oh, let's get an Asian housekeeper and a tiny smart alecky kid, and like they had it a situation comedy. It had to be killed. It had to be killed. Like that show killed it. It was just a show.
Was that a comedy? You think?
Courtship of Eddie's Father?
Yeah.
Maybe or maybe not. But
it kind of had drama, but it was
a setup where like
there was a laugh track.
Every person is like, and they also have a wacky neighbor. Like Tim Allen. Oh, he's got a wacky neighbor that lives across the hall.
Wilson.
Like, you're right. Like now you see it's just lazy comedy writing.
That was the way they did it back then. They could.
You saw Ruddy go in and pitch Hogan Heroes. Heroes not knowing a goddamn thing.
I know nothing. I see nothing. Here you go.
By the way, that was also my take. I think I mentioned this last week, but it went through the whole thing. Like the whole idea of this was like, oh, this was just a story about how this was such a hard movie to make. Like it wasn't that hard. Like this guy pitched one show and got it, made a bunch of money. Then he got onto The Godfather, pitched it, made it, got his director immediately. Like, it doesn't seem that hard, actually. Most people in Hollywood struggle a lot more
Just got to have
than
chutzpah.
Al Ruddy did.
You gotta
This
have
guy was
chutzpah.
using the mob. I mean,
Yeah, that was the
although
weird thing.
I kept reminding Jenny as we watched it. I said, there are different viewpoints of how this happened, and this is Ruddy's viewpoint of how it happened. He seems very heroic throughout the whole thing.
Absolutely. And
But
another thing that will tell you just what you're talking about, Chad, about how much you can rely on that being actual fact, is that if you watch The Offer, the very last screen at the end after the credits roll is the standard screen that says, this movie is fiction. Any relationship to any people living or dead is a coincidence. Not like a coincidence. These are actual fucking people.
The names
You're
are the
using their
people that were in
names.
it. So there's no one called Marlon Brando. They made that.
Yeah,
up?
Marlon Brando never existed.
I
So
always suspected Burt Reynolds was a fictional character.
I
Just seemed too big.
I appreciate the depth of character that they went to, making Bob Evans nasally as fuck,
Yeah.
but holy shit,
Bobby.
it was annoying.
I thought he
God.
was
Loved it.
great.
I thought it was great.
I thought he was great. And also, like, you guys complained about Giovanni Ribisi. I thought he
did.
was fantastic. I thought he was so fucking
I said I
good.
was on the
He
fence.
was good,
so
but it
far
was just
away
a little
from-
weird.
That was so far away from who that guy actually is that to me that's acting. Like, oh, you looked like a fat, weird mafia guy. I thought the performances were great. I thought the guy who played Bob Evans
did
was
good.
clearly
Oh man,
the best guy in the show.
Oh yeah,
they all did great. Yeah, there wasn't a bad character in it. And the Betty character, you've like fallen in love with her.
Oh man,
so, I mean, she did a fantastic job. So
yeah, it was great.
It was really good. I enjoyed it.
Fucking Juno Temple. That's the girl from Ted Lasso. If you've not watched Ted Lasso.
I haven't seen that, but
And Fogler did a great job, I thought, with Francis Ford. He looks like fucking Francis Ford.
So
Coppola.
the thing I want to watch now, after watching this,
Well, let's go into it's time. We can go into
All right.
recommendations.
Well, I'll say this as a recommendation without having even seen it, because I'm just going to go look.
Oh, you're doing Andy's bit.
Bill Pullman.
No, I'm doing the opposite.
Bill
Instead of
Pullman.
recommending two things I've seen, I'm going to recommend something I haven't seen. But this whole thing has made me want to watch the making of, I think I mentioned this last week too. Sorry, I've worked a lot of hours. I want to watch there's a documentary about the making of Apocalypse Now, which is what Coppola and Marlon Brando made after Godfather 2. And I think Apocalypse Now is a better movie than either of the Godfather movies, but I'm probably not in the majority on that, obviously.
I would agree.
It's an incredible movie, but the things that happened to those people, it's not a comedy. It's not like hey, it's a bunch of funny things happened and we made the Godfather. No, it was Francis Ford Coppola sitting on a bamboo bridge in Cambodia with Marlon Brando for 3 days trying to convince him to do the scene. Like, they went over there and lost their fucking minds. Dennis Hopper was on LSD the entire time.
Wow.
It was madness. And Coppola somehow,
Yeah, that's
pulled it together. But so I know that documentary exists, and I remember seeing it a long time ago, but that's what I want to watch again. Martin Sheen as the
Didn't he have a heart attack on set?
He had a heart attack.
You know Harrison Ford's in that. For just
I did not know that.
I don't know. It might be that I'm watching that. I started watching it again. Apocalypse Now, Redux or whatever. It's but Harrison Ford's in a scene, so it may have been from a deleted scene or whatever. But
Yeah.
It's early on.
It's just incredible. Robert
I
Duvall,
say this a lot, but
Robert
I've
Duvall
never
is
seen that
incredible.
movie.
The
Oh, really?
scene-
Yeah.
You
It's
what?
on it.
You've
It's on
never
it.
seen Apocalypse Now?
No.
Chad, you need to watch this movie.
I only watched The Godfather like a year and a half ago, and I've never seen part 2.
Well, and okay, so here's the other thing.
Called Hearts of Darkness.
Carrie Mitchell's watching The Offer, and she's like, "Oh, I think I need to watch The Godfather." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
I pulled it up and I showed Jenny. Fuck, it's 3 hours. She goes, "Yeah, we just watched. Remember they fought over that."
And I think The Godfather 2 is better than The Godfather because De Niro is incredible, and they were really in their groove by then. Coppola really knew what the fuck he was doing by Godfather 2. But Apocalypse Now is like, to me, it's like he took everything he learned in making the Godfather movies and made a Vietnam movie, which is
Vietnam.
In Vietnam, it captures the madness of that war.
Yeah.
In a way that like Platoon, like all no, come on, fuck
Hamburger
off.
Hill.
Heartbreak
Exactly.
So Erickson, the movie is called Hearts of Darkness, and it's a documentary. It came out in 91, and it was it got a lot of praise, so it's probably worth watching.
Is it up on the YouTube?
Hearts of Darkness.
I don't know. I just looked it up. I just searched on it. Doesn't tell me.
I'll go find it and tell you guys where it is.
All right, gotcha.
Well, I already blew mine, but I say watch that Celtics Laker 3-part 30 for it's a 30 for 30, and it's well done. And man, yeah, Larry, it's got interviews with all the folks that you fucking remember.
Wow, great elevator pitch, bro.
Yeah.
I know
you
nothing.
Blew your load early.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
You climb up on the chair, you do the fucking
And chicks. You got broads.
That is the best part of that scene, Chad, when Bill Paley, the head of CBS, is like, well, will there be women in it? Oh, there will be women. Oh, there will be.
I like that they left all the sexism in there. Like they didn't try to sugarcoat it.
No.
Well, it shouldn't be. I mean, like, you know, it's that's how they were. And if you can't watch it,
well, yeah, right
then.
up until the Me Too movement when some turd in the punch bowl fucked up the whole game.
Yeah. Killed Anthony Bourdain inadvertently. The whole thing. Anyway.
That's a fact.
Everybody was having a good time and in agreement until then. I have 2 post-it notes because I smoked too much freeze pipes, I guess, during these podcasts. So I might be telling you guys something that you recommended to me or that I've already recommended. So if that happens, I have page 2 as a backup. But my recommendation is on YouTube, and it's called Mexico's Deadly Coca-Cola Addiction.
Oh, this is all brand new, Chad.
All right, good. And then I can save page 2 for another backup. It's about a town in Mexico that is just Coca-Cola is so prolific there. It's that everybody's dying of diabetes. The whole fucking town. That's like it's like a 20-minute documentary on YouTube, and everybody's dying of diabetes. I don't want to give away all the plots, but I want to tell you and it's probably the funniest part. And I don't care. A lot of times trailers show you the funniest part of the movie. They have a shaman in there. It's in Mexico, you know. So they have a shaman in this village. And the shaman treats the people with diabetes with Coca-Cola.
Yes, of course.
So it's
Rondo, it has electrolytes.
Oh man.
That's great.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So
sad, but fun.
It is very sad, and there's more to it than that, but those are the highlights to give you a trailer.
Chad, how did you find that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I
Chad's Google search would be fascinating.
Well, yeah. I get recommended shit on YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just like you might like this because you watch this weird shit.
Well, once the Supreme Court guts the EPA, every town in America will be the same town that is Mexico's deadly Coca-Cola addiction. So
one of the main dudes they follow around is a guy straps in his helmet and gets on his scooter with his guitar on his back, and he's making shitloads of money riding around singing Mexican songs at I guess they're just songs there. But he's singing at funerals. And he's like really Mexican busy singing it. This guy died of diabetes. This guy died of diabetes. So he's just running around singing.
Oh, that's
Meanwhile, he's addicted to Coke.
That's what all those. That's what all those little things are, dugouts or little crosses and stuff. It's just a insulin feeding station. But they don't have insulin, huh? Do they have insulin?
Well, I mean, they've got doctors, so. Andy. I mean, they're not animals.
Well, the doctor should say, "Hey, man, cut it out with the cola."
Well, I mean, yeah. They need. Oh, yeah. You could say that to anyone who has a health issue.
Man, I think I could solve their problem, and my problem is it's hard to get Mexican colas here. So I give them a bunch of American cola, and they give me the Mexican cola.
Well, there's no such thing as Mexican colas anymore. They
just call them colas.
Yeah, because they now use high fructose corn syrup in their colas.
Can't find Aunt Jemima
we got them. So we got them.
Aunt Jemima took off too.
So, but it's like I said, it's like 20 minutes or so. So it gets a little complex about, how it's integral to their economy. You guys will like it.
Yeah.
It's political. Oh, one of the things that made me go down a rabbit hole of is how much water is used to produce soda. And we're going to fucking all die because we're going to run out of water. And we use most of it to make soda.
Yeah.
There's some funny things about the end of the world. It's like, it's fucking hot.
All right. Well, I got my. I'm definitely gonna watch that, Chad. That sounds like a good thing to watch with my Mexican pointy boots.
It's just called pointy boots.
Mexican pointy boots. I recommended a couple weeks ago. So I watched something. I got during the beginning of what?
Oh, I love the Mexican pointy boots. So it's so ridiculous.
During the beginning of COVID, I discovered some Danish crime series, and they were just it was a 10-part or something like that, and they had really it was a very ominous soundtrack, and the special effects, they had really gory looking shit. And I found another one called The Chestnut Man. But it can be a little, and it is good. I'm 2 in right now, and I'll probably spend the next couple of days watching the rest of them. And it's a series, and I don't know where it's going right now, but it gets fucking dark, and there's usually some missing kid thing that makes it really kind of sad, and it's ticking all the boxes.
Was it?
But I'm noticing that it's almost like they shot this thing saying, all right, this is a Danish production. We have TV out here. We're going to put it out here, but we're going to take a lot of faraway shots or shots where you can't really see their mouth, so that when they do the overdub, it's a lot easier.
Right.
So it kind of bugs me a little bit.
America.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's you make the money over in America.
Remember, there was a show called The Killing.
It's based on the recommendation comes on that one. They go, if you like the Killing, you'll like The
Killing. Was a show that I think Netflix did.
Yep.
And it was good, really good. And it was based on a Danish murder mystery show. Yeah. So, they're like, fine, how can we make sure that we do not lose anything in translation? Well, we'll shoot everything from 500 feet away. Or
like this, not straight on. So you can see what I'm doing and how I'm talking. So, but it bugs me because I'm looking at how they're doing the photography. And I'm like, wait, I haven't seen anyone's teeth like in like any of these shots. And I realize they're doing it like they're doing a pan or something where you can't really see, but you hear it all the dialogue, the voiceover is really kind of phoned in. So that's a little distracting too. But I do like the effects and the like the one in episode 2, there's a killing that is like, whoa, wow, that's fucking, haven't seen that before. So
All right.
I like it.
Good enough. That's almost like the recommendation of the first killing in season 3, episode 1 of The Boys.
I haven't seen that yet.
So horrified. Andy, did you see that
I
yet?
still, I haven't had time to
God damn
watch
it.
that
Both
yet.
of you guys
I don't
didn't
have
watch
that.
it.
I don't have
Listen,
that particular
Look, you don't have to
fucking
watch
thing.
anything else on The Boys. Just watch
3. I heard
episode
it's
1 of season 3 and only watch the first 10 minutes.
No.
It's the scene. I mean, I haven't watched the rest of the season. I don't think the scene even necessarily connects to anything else.
right.
It's
Just shock value.
it's just one of those things where when you watch it, you're like, oh
Ooh.
man, of
Uh-huh.
course.
Here's a creepy
So.
thing from the Chestnut Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding these little figures in the
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that looks like a True Detective shit right there.
Season 1.
Time is a flat circle.
yeah, totally.
Another one I've never watched that I want to watch.
You never
Yeah.
watched True Detective, Chad?
Oh my God. The first season of that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was must see TV, man.
Chad,
Only Woody
wait, wait,
Harrelson.
wait.
I
Back
tend to
it up.
watch the same exact things over and over and
Chad.
over again. This is opening me up to a whole bunch
Chad.
of stuff.
You have HBO, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so watch season 1 of True Detective. You know that I've talked a lot about Matthew McConaughey, but watch him.
Oh, you
in-
have? Are you? I don't know. Matthew, who?
Watch him in season 1 of True
And Woody
Detective.
fucking Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's
Oh,
great.
it's so good.
There's also a scene in True Detective season 1. I think it's episode 7 or episode 8, where they do like this bust where they fucking run through these
Oh yeah, that
bust
one.
through and they run through these buildings and they do like I think it's like 3 minutes long, but they run through this whole like part of this neighborhood. There's no edits. So
Yeah.
it's like it's shot in this way that like they follow McConaughey through this fucking thing where it's incredible that they filmed this in a shot and without an edit. Like it's that by itself is incredible, but the show is really, really good. And McConaughey sitting there doing his, thing in the, Chad, watch season 1 of True
It's
Detective.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I've
Only season 1.
I've
though.
never watched Alien.
Only season 1. Fox season 2, season 3.
I
What they
didn't-
do is they do all
didn't
new
follow it.
cast every year. It's
Just different. Yeah, whole different.
it's Woody
story,
and
right?
it's Woody and McConaughey. That's
Yeah.
the only way to go.
One is the good one, huh?
One's a
I've heard
good
My
that.
one.
brother did a when True Detective came out that first year, the killing pose with the antlers. My brother
Mhm.
made one of those.
Oh,
gowns.
really? Wow.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch that again. I forgot how good season 1.
It's
of
worth
that
it.
is.
He's flipping that fucking coin. Time's a flat circle.
Oh,
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah. All right. That's exactly it.
Coin keeps.
By the
spinning.
way, my son pointed out to me, and I couldn't figure out where I knew this guy from, and I didn't IMDb him, but on did you guys watch Under the Banner of Heaven? I mentioned it.
I haven't. I've watched
The
part of it,
main
but-
guy in it, one of the main guys in it was from Everybody Wants Some, which is the follow-up to Dazed and Confused.
Oh,
and
really? I
It's
never heard of it.
I think it's great, but it's not nearly as good as Dazed and Confused. But
Any of the
but that guy, the guy who is in it, who was in that and in the Under the Banner of Heaven, is Kurt Russell's kid, which I didn't know, which Zach told me. My son told me this. Not Kurt and Goldie's kid, but Kurt Russell's kid from before. And he is fucking fantastic in Under
Yeah.
the Banner of Heaven. He's one of the crazy Mormons.
It's
and
like
he
how many episodes
this
is that?
shot?
Like 10?
Somewhere.
He is.
But I know who he isn't.
Nope, he's not in there. He's not
Alright.
in that shot. But he is in that movie, and he is fucking fantastic. But I knew when I saw him in Under the Banner of Heaven, I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, and it was from Everybody wants some. So, all right. Well, that
Oh,
seems
his name's
like
Wyatt.
a podcast.
His name's
Everybody.
Wyatt.
No, that's the one
Wyatt
with
Russell.
is
Wyatt
Wyatt the one? I
Russell.
thought Wyatt
Kurt
was
Russell's
Goldie's.
kid, Wyatt Russell.
Okay, yeah, he was good in the Clubhouse or some shit like that. He had a TV series for a minute.
Oh, really? Under the Banner of Heaven's great. You guys should watch it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Chad, watch True Detective season 1 first. There he is.
And then Apocalypse. Get some LSD in you.
Oh man. If you haven't seen Apocalypse now, I mean,
Yeah.
Aliens.
oh
You need to
man.
watch
You,
Aliens.
Chad, honestly, you should be prepared for Apocalypse Now. It's not like a normal movie.
Yeah.
And when you hear all the shit that went on while they made it, it makes more sense when you see it because
I'll bet. Yeah.
it seems like Dennis Hopper's on acid in the movie.
And
You know,
then he
like
is.
he's not making coherent sense most of the time. He's
Yeah.
just being weird. And it works in the context of the script, but only barely. You know?
He's kind of manic anyway.
Right.
He was
Right.
great at
He's at his most manic.
Uh-huh.
Like Waterworld. He plays the same character in Waterworld.
Jack probably told him,
Haley
just
was the
get
only
up,
person
just
who saw
do
Waterworld
LSD,
besides
man.
Kevin
Just be yourself. Do drugs. All right, man.
What did you say, Erickson?
Oh, Erickson?
No, I said you're the only person who's seen Waterworld besides
I love
Kevin
Waterworld.
you. Wait,
Dennis
you guys
Hopper
are,
was the-
wait, Chad, you've seen Waterworld, but not True Detective.
That is
season
weird. Or
No.
Apocalypse
Or
Now?
Apocalypse Now. You've seen Waterworld, but not Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Waterworld's good, though.
I don't know about
You
that.
guys,
I've seen Waterworld multiple
I saw it. I
times.
didn't like it.
multiple times. It'd be great if your recommendation every week was just watch Waterworld again. You
Again.
guys.
I had
Really
hey,
good.
hey, speaking of things like this, one of the things that I watch over and over all the time is My Name is Earl.
I
And there's
think that's a
another
great
one
show.
that is that same guy, Ggreg Garcia, made Raising Hope.
Mm.
And there's a new one coming out called Sprung on I don't know what it is. The
On one
Freebie,
of the
I think.
platforms?
Freebie.
What's the main
Amazon
guy's
Freebie.
name? What's
But
the main guy's name from My Name is Earl? He's fantastic.
Jason
Lee.
Lee.
Jason Lee. I love that guy.
He quit Hollywood. He lives out in
Quit.
fucking he lives in Texas somewhere.
He
I
made
think.
enough money.
And
He's a
Ethan
skateboarder.
Suplee, the brother with a big fat guy, is super ripped now.
Right.
I follow him on Instagram. But
He was in
anyway,
a bunch of stuff.
so then so the guy that does all of this, I retweeted that this new show's coming out and that I was a fan. Ggreg Garcia, the creator of all of these shows, responds to my tweet with a screenshot of his old tweet showing that he was in Bisbee at the quarry
Oh man.
and his Pac-Man score. And he said, I may need to go back to Bisbee and see if my score is there. And he was like, I love your guys' podcast. And I was like,
Wow.
what? Fucking the Ggreg Garcia, the dude that made the show. That was pretty cool moment that I had there.
Wait,
on
so you could
Twitter.
have gotten Greg Garcia on the Doug Stanhope podcast?
Well,
and you
that's
just never
kind of
showed
why
it?
I should have texted Chaille, but I figured I didn't know if he saw it. And I didn't know if I should, but I figured I'd bring it up now. That's good enough. He's not there yet. This only happened a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
My Name is Earl. It was a great show. I
I'm-
loved that show. And
I
I
fall
think
asleep
Jason
to
Lee
it all the
is
time.
really, really funny. Mallrats was funny. And it was funny because he was funny in it.
Mm-hmm.
And My Name is Earl was funny because he was funny in it. And he was, I think, the best part of Almost Famous.
Is this the guy?
I've not seen
Ggreg
almost.
Garcia?
I
don't think so.
Greg Garcia.
No.
Does
What was
There's
he
a
in,
picture of Jason Lee.
If it is, he looks different now because the guy that followed me on Twitter has a big old beard.
Yeah.
Or he didn't follow me on Twitter, but he responded to me on
The
Twitter. I
Greg
mean.
developing immigrant comedy series at CBS. It's gotta
Maybe
be.
that's him.
But yeah,
I never saw him look like that.
yeah,
Jason Lee was a professional skateboarder
He
yeah,
before,
yeah,
was
that's where he
indeed.
came from.
before he started
Yeah.
acting.
I think he was a Scientologist. I read.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
a
man.
shame.
That's too.
and I don't
bad.
know if he got out of it or not, but I did read that, and I don't know how true it was. But
Yeah, he had to move to Texas.
Funny.
One of the funniest sitcoms ever made.
I think so too. And that was a good premise. You're talking about sitcoms that had a premise. Instead of just going, oh, we're gonna have like 5 wacky characters, we're just gonna have an actual premise. He's got a list of people he has to apologize to.
So as a redneck who's grown up in trailer parks, I was telling Jenny the other day, my son lives in a trailer park. We're driving through, and I told Jenny, I've lived in every model of these trailers that's in this trailer park. There's not a, and if there's only one, it's kind of a double decker on one end. They had 2 bedrooms, so top and a bottom. That was kind of a fancy one. I never lived in that one, but they really did research into trailer park rednecks. They did a good job.
That's funny.
All right.
All right. Well, there you go. So many
That's a bunch of
recommendations,
recommendations.
Look at this. We're
Absolutely.
getting busy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take a day off.
Good luck with that.
Totally. So thank you guys for being out there. And I don't know what to say at the end. We love you guys, and we couldn't do this without you. I mean, we could, and we probably wouldn't though.
Oh, you
That's
are
the thing.
drunk, dude. You are drunk.
You want to do it?
No, it's just funny because you usually have it kind of.
No, I mean, well, I started to think about the fact that we could do this every week, even if no one paid us, but we wouldn't. So
Would you
we're
go to
glad
the
you're out there.
factory?
It'd be sporadic for sure.
I'm doing the best I can. So
You're doing
thank you
great.
guys for being out there. We love you. You know how to do it. There's Andy's Venmo. Send him
Yeah.
some money so that he can, get some, buy something when he goes to the coast with Mac. That'll be, a nice
Mac-Aholics.
day for him. And Chad's on Twitch sometimes. Sometimes he's not. It doesn't matter. Doug's on the road. You'll see what Chaille with him when that happens. And I'm very drunk. Let's end it. We love you.
All right.
We'll see
Good
ya.
night, America.
Good night, America.
And
An
the rest of the
international production.
world.
And also everybody else that watches from all around the globe. And who knows, we might be beamed into space with a fucking Tesla.
We
The
should,
Tesla plays issues with Andy in
Andy, you just
space.
gotta stop
Should put-
talking and we can end.
we should play the American flag with the national anthem at the end, like they
Sign
used
off?
to when they
I
turned off
pledge
TV
allegiance
at the end of
to
the
the
night.
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible.
indivisible, with liberty and
justice
justice
all.
for all, or for some.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh shit, man. Almonds. I love those.
Almonds.
Almonds. Almonds.